There we go. Should be working now. I don't know why it wasn't on earlier, but it's working now. All right. But anyway, now that we've got everything working, thank you for letting me know that the audio wasn't working. I completely didn't even see it. But pretty much, Reshiram Charizard is pretty self-explanatory at this point. You're going to get in for big damage with Charizard. You've got a lot of different teammates to help you get there. And then, of course, your trainer cards, which are super important. So, some new tools. Fire Crystal. Put 3 Fire Energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Super relevant. So, if you have to discard Fire Energy early, get them right back. 1 Field Blower, because Field Blower is actually pretty relevant again. So, lots and lots more people are starting to play more tool cards that are becoming more relevant. And at the same time, even though a lot of people are playing Prism Star Stadiums, there are going to be certain situations where you just desperately need to get rid of a stadium card, and I think Field Blower is kind of a necessity now for some decks. So definitely putting 1 in there just to see how it plays. Just some more firepower, no pun intended. Fiery Flint. So it's basically like an Ultra Ball for energy. So you're going to discard 2 cards, search your deck for up to 4 Fire Energy cards, put them in your hand. So it's really relevant for turns where you don't have anything for Welder, you need those energies, so you can go ahead and search them out with Fiery Flint. I'm only playing 2 copies in the deck because we are going to be having a fair bit amount of draw just from playing other supporters and constantly taking knockouts, where we don't need to play draw supporters like Lily or Cynthia all that much. So we're just going to naturally draw into most of the things that we need. But Fiery Flint does help us get those precious energies when we do need them. 4 switches. You need to have a lot of switching effects in this deck because you have to make sure that a Reshiram Charizard is always up and ready to go. So whether that means our opponent Guzmas us into something that's trying to get us stuck in the active, we can switch out of it. There's lots of situations where switch is really good. Plus, we can also find them off of Jirachis, which is super helpful. You'll see in a little bit once we start playing with the deck. Viridian Forest is going to help us go ahead and find our Fire Energy. It also, we can search for a Fire Energy and discard 1 to put it in the discard pile, which can be relevant for things like Flareon, and help us just to thin our deck out to find specific pieces. 1 Heat Factory, of course, just to help us draw cards. Discarding a Fire Energy, draw 3 is pretty good. 4 Welder, so allows you to attach up to 2 Fire Energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon. If you do, draw 3 cards. So the kicker is attach up to 2, so if you only have 1 Fire Energy in hand, you can still play Welder and draw the 3 cards. Now, if you draw another Fire Energy off of that, feels bad, but it is what it is. It does help accelerate that Fire Energy into play, and this is the key card that really makes this deck successful right now. Without Welder, I'm not sure how good Reshiram Charizard would be right now. It's enabling a lot of different strategies with fire decks, and it's super helpful. Only 3 Guzma, 3 Kiawe. Just trying to get that turn 1 Kiawe onto a Charizard if you're going first is really nice because you're set up, you're ready to attack, and your opponent is having to face down at the minimum 240 damage that they have to deal with. And if they can't answer that, they're in for a load of trouble. Escape boards for our Jirachis. 2 choice bands just to get that extra damage in on other Charizards, and things like Pikarom can be the difference in the game. So I feel like 2 choice bands is pretty well included here. And 13 Fire Energy. I've been playing around with the energy count for a little bit, but I feel that 13 is kind of like our sweet spot. It's not too much, but at the same time, it's going to allow us to keep churning through our deck. We can choose to discard Fire Energies to retreat if we absolutely need to. We can always get them back with Fire Crystal, but we're always going to be able to have a lot of energy on board, especially for things like Turtonator, which is really useful. So if there's Pokemon that we're not necessarily using right now, we can still keep attaching energy and using Turtonator's attack to just keep blowing up our opponent's threats. But this is Reshizard for right now. We're going to go ahead and get in some games with it real quick and see how it does. After we play a couple of games with this, we're going to try out a new updated version of Pikarom as well. Alright, so it looks like we're playing against Ultra Necrozma here. Alright, so we won. I'm definitely going to choose to go first here. Alright. So, I'm going to have to start Turtonator here. Tournament went pretty well yesterday. I managed to take Tapu Koko to a top 4 finish. Very happy with the way the deck turned out. Unfortunately, I just had a rough game 2 and sudden death in top 4 where I just wasn't able to pull it out. I started a really bad hand, which my opponent was able to take advantage of. And in game 3, it was sudden death, and I had absolutely nothing. So it's unfortunate, but it was a straight meta call for taking Koko. I was actually going to be playing Zapdos myself, but I walked into a room full of Zapdos and went, we have a really good matchup against all of this. Let's play Koko. And I went 4-1-0 through Swiss, so definitely worth it. Alright, so we actually have everything we need here for a turn 1 Kiawe. So that is an option that we can have here. So the only downside to this is we do have a Turtonator that's stuck in the active. And playing against Malamar, I'm not quite sure that that's necessarily what we want to be doing. So let's go ahead and Nest Ball and just see what we have in the deck. Alright, so we have Eevee, so there is an option. Unfortunately, Flareon is in our hand. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can go ahead and try to get some stuff down and Dedenne GX as well, just to get some better cards in our hand, just to give us more options. So, I think I like that. Let's go ahead and grab a Reshiram Charizard, just to start things off. And then we can go ahead. Let's Ultra Ball. Let's get rid of these two. Now, the only downside with taking with Dedenne here is we do lose the Flareon, but in this matchup, I don't think we necessarily need it all that bad. I'm just gonna attach to the Reshiram Charizard here. I'll toss the Escape Board down on the Turtonator. Just give it a little bit of extra retreat, and we'll just Dene change. Alright, so this is much better. Unfortunately, the Eevee's kind of dead now, but we can use that for Fiery Flint fodder. So I think what we do here is we drop the Jirachi. Let's switch into it, and let's see what we get off of the Stellar Wish. Alright, there's a Welder. I'm definitely okay with this. So we can discard. Let's see how many fire energies we have in this card pile. Just one. So we can actually discard the Eevee and the fire energy and go get a bunch more fire energy here. We can Welder. Put these energy on Charizard. Oh, I guess I misclicked. Oh well, it's still fine. Anyway, let's see. We do have Fire Crystal to grab some more of those fire energies in our discard pile, which is fine. I'm not going to bench the second one yet. And I don't feel like there's anything else that we really need at the moment. Really, the only thing that they could do is Giratina. So let's go ahead. Let's go get our Mew. Well, actually, no, because Mew doesn't prevent that, because that's from attacks. We could. Let's see. We could go ahead and get the Miltank online. I really don't see much of a better option here. Just go grab Miltank. Because we do have a Welder for next turn, so if they do attack into something, we can just bring up the mill tank and heal whatever it is. So let's just go ahead and pass for now. Okay, so our opponent puts out Viridian Forest. Definitely going to need to bump that ASAP just to help turn off more ways for them to get Psychic Energy in the discard pile. They've already managed to get 2 in there. So they probably have, yep, there's the Lele. The other thing I've also been considering for this deck is running the Abandoned Power Plant to prevent things like this, where if our opponent has absolutely nothing, they can't just Ultra Ball for a Lele, go get a supporter, then they just kind of stuck. But again, it does kind of affect our own Tapu Lele and our own Dedenne, so really just kind of depends. So it looks like our opponent's going to go ahead and Tapu Lele, go find a Lily. Yep. Draw a bunch of new cards. Alrighty. Now, what I would really like to do here, it looks like they're about to retreat into the Jirachi, that's also fine. I would really like to find an Ultra Ball soon, because right now, it would be great to go ahead and get a Marshadow and go ahead and let loose, because our opponent's got 1,000,000 cards in their hand. Which means they probably have ways to go ahead and go get their Malamars and go ahead and get set up for next turn. So we have our own Viridian Forest. That doesn't really do a whole lot for us. Yes, Ethan, I'm on stream. Go away, please. Alright. Now, do we Stellar Wish here or not? I really do want to go ahead and be able to get this attack off. It's a little unfortunate, but I kind of feel like we have to do that just to guarantee that we are going to get something off here this turn. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck. So, let's go ahead and Welder to the Charizard first. So yep, we are just going to have to manually attach and retreat here, which is fine. This is not ideal. And yeah, we're just going to have to Flare Strike here for 1,000,000 damage. Right, there's another Welder. So our opponent is definitely going to be able to attack us with Giratina on this next turn. So one of the things that we can do is we can go ahead and Fire Crystal, get some Fire Energies back into our hand. We can retreat the Charizard, bring up the Miltank, and then Welder back onto the Charizard. So that'll definitely heal a bunch of that damage off. And that'll kind of set our opponent back as well. The problem is we don't really have a reliable way to get Miltank out of the active right now. We do need to go ahead and draw into a switch card. That is one of the things that we can hit off of our Welders, though, and then we can just keep attacking. So we'll see. Because our opponent's about to get in really big here. Definitely being able to shave off some of this damage will be super helpful. got about 3 in the discard pile right now. Yep, so our opponent gets in there for a lot. There's also a Guzma off the top. That is interesting. I think what we're going to need to do here is let's just go ahead and retreat into the mill tank. Let's Fire Crystal. And let's Welder. Onto the Charizard. And that effectively healed all of our damage. Still wasn't able to get that switch, which is really unfortunate. Now we could Tapu Lele here, but I'm not even sure what we would really go for. Let's go ahead and toss it down just to see what's left in the deck. We can go get Kiawe. That's another option we also have available. But I don't really feel like that we need to get it. We can go grab the Kiawe, I guess, and then just kind of pitch it. Just more deck thinning. Alright, and we just pass. Prevent a big knockout on our thing where our opponent has to put even more damage counters down. They can swing into the mill tank, but at this point the damage is done. Let's see, how many more? I don't have any energy in the discard pile. So one of the things that we can do is we can try to cut them off. We can go ahead and start targeting down the Malamars if we really want to. Because regardless, even with the Choice Band, it is going to take 2 hits from this Giratina to knock out our Reshiram Charizard. Now, if we can prevent them from being able to recycle the Giratinas effectively, that's going to be really good. Yeah, so our opponent's going to go get another Inkay, so that is going to help them a little bit. So we're definitely bringing up Jirachi here. Okay, so another Fire Energy off the top is really good. Let's go ahead and Stellar Wish, see what we get. Fire Crystal is super helpful here. Can't really utilize Ultra Ball right now, so let's just go ahead and take the Fire Crystal. Okay. So we can just attach to Charizard manually, or we could go ahead and use Turtonator as well. I really like the idea of using Turtonator here, so let's go ahead and we'll Welder. Onto Turtonator. Draw some more cards. Now we are getting low in the deck. It's not wanting to show us how many cards we have left in the deck. Alright. And let's see. Go ahead and get rid of that Viridian Forest for our opponent. And let's go ahead. Well, we could actually mess with them a lot. Let's go ahead and Fire Crystal. Get these back in our hand. Can Ultra Ball. Let's go get more Shadow and Let Loose. There's the switch. That's what we were looking for. So let's see. Yep, we only would have to discard one energy to get the knockout here. The other option is we can go ahead and bring up Reshizard here. I just don't really feel like that's the best option right now. That's fine. Because we're probably going to get return knockout here with the on the Turtonator anyway. There's our Heat Factory. There's another Malamar. Now the good thing is here is we are actually going to be able to utilize both the Viridian Forest and the Heat Factory. Interesting choice off of the damage from Giratina. I would have definitely thought that they would have put it on Charizard, because that would allow them to just take 2 quick knockouts on it, because with 130, double it, so 2 knockouts is 260, we're at 270. Because we're definitely going to be promoting Charizard here. I think our opponent might have misplayed on that a little bit. As much as I would like to go ahead and promote the Jirachi, without the skateboard on it right now, it's just not the safest option. Opponent was in the tank on their prizes. Alright, so we do get a fire energy off the top. That is good. So we can safely attach to Charizard this turn if we want to. Not a ton of energy left in the deck, but I'm not too terribly concerned. We do have access to more fire crystals. Well, actually, no. We've used all 3 of them already. Let's see, we've got 3 in the discard pile. So we probably have a handful of them that are prized. So definitely attaching here. Let's toss down the Heat Factory. I don't think it'll be necessarily... we can hold on to the Choice Band for now. Let's go ahead and just activate Heat Factory, draw some more cards. There's another Let Loose. Not really in our favor to use it right now, though. So let's go ahead and just Flare Strike, get this thing out of here. All right, another Fire Energy is pretty good. So even though our opponent's going to be able to chain Giratinas here, we're just going to be able to return knock them out because they have to 2-shot us. And if we're going to get lucky on the next turn off of our Heat Factory, we could go ahead and draw into one of our Welders. Let's see, how many do we have in the discard pile? Well, all of our Welders are gone. So at this point, it might be manual attachment time. Just go ahead and toss down the other Reshizard and just start manually attaching. Now, the one good thing about this, though, is when Giratina does attack into us, it does turn Outrage online. Okay, so here comes Ultra Necrozma. Now, the great thing about this is they can't use Sky Scorching Light yet, because it has to be exactly 6 prizes. Or 6 or less, okay. Well, we're still at 7. So we are about to get smacked really hard, but that's still okay. We have ways to come back from this. Let's go ahead and promote the Jirachi here. There's a Guzma, but it doesn't necessarily get us out of this situation. We do need to put down the other Reshiram Charizard. Let's Stellar Wish. Let's see what we get. There's a switch. That's important. We can't really afford to Kiawe here. Let's see what we get off of this. That's about really all we can do here. Alright, so they managed to bump that. Alright, so our opponent doesn't have the Guzma for game. Let's see. Yep, I think they have it here, though. Yep, looks like our opponent's just got it here. Well, we kind of got off to an awkward start. We did not have any switch cards on some key turns, which is really strange because this deck runs 4 switches. Didn't really see much of any of them. Looks like our opponent's taking their time in the tank about this coin flip. I guess the tank was worth it. Not a bad opening hand. We can work with this. We'll see what we get off of this Jirachi, and that'll really kind of depend on where we're going to be going with this. So it looks like some kind of Buzz Rock. I'm sorry, not Buzz Rock, I meant Zora Rock. So it looks like they are playing a Logan Muck as well. Alright. So let's see what we get off the Stellar Wish. There's an Ultra Ball. Alright, so that gives us options. What do we really want here, is the question. I think we're good with a Guzma and a Fire Energy. Let's go see what we have in the deck. Okay, so Flareon is an option, though it doesn't really have that great of a play. Turtonator doesn't really do anything much more for us right now. Now, if we wanted to be super funny, we could Lele, go get Lele and Welder attached to the Lele. I just don't think that's the best idea. Dedenne in the deck. It's an option. The other option that we have is we could Marshadow and see what we can get off of that, because our opponent's got 5 cards in hand, 2 things on the bench. Not going to be able to let loose him after that. You know what? We're just going to be funny. Let's go ahead and let loose him. Alrighty. Oof, and we get punished hard. Well, hopefully it prevents whatever they had in store for us. Honestly here, I'm just going to retreat into the Marshadow and just call it a day. And hope we don't get too terribly punished for this.
Ooh, is that first turn?
Yeah, didn't really have a lot of great options, unfortunately. I think maybe something that we could have done a little bit better is maybe we could have gone for Dedenne. But our opponent did manage to get the Zoroark off the top.
There's like a Pokemon Go thing today, is what I'm saying.
Okay. That's cool.
Alright.
Dang, you got that all ball.
Mm-hmm. Opponent's got everything. We're just,
The hyper rares too, man.
Yep.
He's special.
So yeah, we're getting hosed. We literally let loose them into everything they needed. So unless we have the top deck of the Sentry here, we can pretty much wrap this one up. You live by the memes, you die by the memes. Unfortunately, Marshadow did not have great plans for us today. But that's what I do love about online is you can go ahead and try new things. Pokemon 4599, thanks for the follow, man. Definitely appreciate it. All right. And Miltank, yeah, we're just gonna wrap this one up here. That's what you get for trying to be silly. Oof. So I did have a thought during that first game, even though we didn't get into those switches. Something that could be an option that would be really interesting.
Could you make a copy of that and let me build the deck?
Yeah, sure. Give me just a sec. Now, something that I was thinking of is instead of force switch, what if we change it up a little bit? Break it down as a 2-2 line of escape rope. Do we have a point system? I'm not sure if I follow the question. What do you mean by that? A point system for what? All right. Well, we could definitely try it now with the 2 escape rope and the 2 switch. That might help some of these really weird matchups. Things like Malamar, where we're trading one prize attacks. Let's see. You're using escape rope as well? Have you been having a lot of success with it? Because I'm kind of torn on the idea right now, but in that last game against Ultra Necrozma, oh, do we have a stream store? I have no idea, unfortunately. All of that kind of information would, let's see, the answer would be known by Jess. And unfortunately, I don't think Jess is in the store today. Like I said, guys, the whole stream thing, this is kind of a work in progress. But yeah, that was my thoughts too, Pajama, was escape rope would kind of, those decks that really want to protect their bench. So up against Malamar, they would be having to make a weird choice. Like they didn't have that, or they didn't have that one turn. They didn't have that second Giratina up. If we had been able to escape rope them there, could have made things a little bit awkward for them as well. Because at the time they only had 2 Malamars set up, so they would be forced to make a choice. Do we promote the Lele here, or do we bring up one of the Malamars? Yeah, and like I thought, we don't have the store set up yet. All right, but let me go ahead and save this build real quick. And then at the same time, let's see. All right, so I went ahead and cloned the deck. So Jared, if you want to go ahead and take a shot at this.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. So for everybody who's not familiar, this is Jared Cole. He is our newest sign-on for the Pokemon G&G Elite team, so make sure you guys give him some love.
What's up?
So we were actually talking about deck lists yesterday. I've been badgering him because he's got some extra Charizards because I want to build this in paper. And we were talking about maybe what the most optimal build for this would be. But yeah, I opted to put in the Miltank just because, like we saw last game, or the very first game, weldering onto it, I was able to heal about 180 damage off of it. So, super useful.
I'm going with a little bit of a different build. Purely because I want to build something more along the lines with baby fire Pokemon in this as well. Like Bucephalon.
Pajama Samus, thanks for the follow, man. Definitely appreciate it.
And it's mostly just to combat some of the more one prize attacker Pokemon. So I felt like you could throw in like a Bucephalon and even a Reshiram from Shining Legends. And I feel like this would add some more explosiveness on your first turn, being able to get rid of the potential Lowland muck that they might throw out early game with a Ditto Prison Star. And
Now, that was one of the things I was actually talking about when I was first showing off the deck here, is maybe cutting one of the Marshadow and going for one of the new ones. The ones where you can discard it.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yep. I don't have one yet, so we would have to go trade for it, but I did just put a bunch of packs up, so that is one thing that we could go ahead and go find real quick if you want.
We could, but for now, let me just go ahead and get a basic build of this. And since I'm not running the Jirachis in this list, I'm gonna get rid of the escape boards and up the switch on mine.
The escape boards are towards the back.
Well, no, not the escape rope. My bad.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I mean, if you're not running the Jirachis, you might as well take the escape boards out as well.
True. I just got rid of the milk tank. Did not mean to do that.
It's milk. You put milk. I wish it was called Milk Tank.
The one thing I love about the milk tank in this is that you can manually retreat out of the Reshizard after they've attacked on a turn. Mm-hmm. And what that kind of allows you to do is you retreat the 3 energy and you promote the milk tank, and then you just use welder, attach for turn, and you've healed 90 damage.
Oh, that's exactly what we did in the first game. They hit us really hard,
yeah.
And I went, okay, I actually welded to the bench Reshizard. I just retreated and welded back to it and just healed 180 damage from it. Pajama Samus, if you want to go ahead and drop a list in the chat, we'd be more than happy to go ahead and take a look at it. Also, Victini Prism Star is an interesting option. Now, I've only played played against a couple of lists that were using it, and most of them didn't seem all of that effective. Now, yeah, it's great because it does shuffle all of the fire energy back from the discard pile into the deck, but the problem is you have to have that fire energy in the discard pile in the first place. And you're running 13 in the deck. We have lots of ways to draw and attach those energies, but outside of Fiery Flint, it's really kind of hard to get all of them in our hand at the same time and to discard them effectively. So, I mean, granted, you have things like Ultra Ball that you can use to get rid of it, but that's really about it, besides just straight up attaching and retreating at that point.
This could be another interesting one of this Moltres.
I think that Moltres is... Here's the thing about Moltres. Its first attack is not very good.
Yeah. No.
Now, Fire Spin, again, you're having to discard a bunch of energy for it, and its HP is really bad. Here's the thing. If it was 130 or 140, it'd be different. But there's a lot right now that hits for 120, and it's just a straight up one shot of it. Now, what I would really like to play in this list that I've thought about ever since it came out, but I haven't found a practical application for it yet, is the new Arcanine. The new Arcanine is really cool.
Well, the reason why I like the Moltres is mostly just because it does mass damage, and if you throw in some energy switches in this, it would be possible to do this like mid to late game. Mm-hmm. So, like, let's just say they got just something tankier than whatever Bucephalon, Turtonator, or Reshiram can take out, and like they've already gone and taken out a Reshizard to begin with. You can kind of like retreat back and still be able to hit hard without
Now, actually, that's another option that I didn't even think of, is just putting a one of a Bucephalon in here. Not the baby one, but just Bucephalon GX.
Bucephalon GX?
Because as a one of, because hear me out on this. Most of the time, you're not going to be using Charizard GX's attack.
Sure.
You're really only going to be using it in those situations where you need to take a one-hit knockout now against Pikarom or against Magikarp and Wailord, or that's really about it, because Flare Strike can pretty much one-shot just about anything right now, give or take a handful of cards. Now, put in something like Bucephalon, that's just another free prize with Burst GX. That's really good. And again, like I was saying earlier, we always have a ton of fire energy spread around with things like Welder. You can just attach energy really quickly. Being able to drop a Bucephalon, play a Welder, and then just one-shot something big out of nowhere seems pretty good to me. Now, again, that is a card that we would have to go pick up. But again, I added a bunch of packs on this morning.
Do you have any Salazzles?
I think I only have one Salazzle. Yeah, I only have the one.
That'll be okay.
Roast Reveal was pretty good against... There were some of the decks that I played against that had it, but just... It was interesting because we're already drawing a lot of cards anyway through Welder, through Heat Factory. Just, it didn't necessarily seem great. Now, I do love the Mew in this deck. I know Pajamas was talking about it earlier.
I'm terrible.
You're good. But Mew is super good against decks like Pikarom, just because the second you drop Mew, they're not able to tag Bolt. They can tag Bolt, but they're not going to get that extra prize or that extra knockout. So, Mew's super relevant.
Now, with your build, did you ever have like issues with bench space?
Bench space can become a problem, and that's why I kind of wanted to trim down the number of Pokemon in Charizard. I don't feel like it needs a ton.
I don't feel like it needs a ton either. The only reason why I do like all of these one-ofs is because it gives you the opportunity in a early game to not have to immediately set up with the Reshazard. You can actually kind of like pull back early game to try to like make that final push with the Reshazard. So like this is more of a the way I would play this would be a little bit probably more or less aggressive than most Reshazard players. That's just my play style.
Now, Pajama, you do have a good point about Mew hurts Muck builds, but as of right now, I haven't really seen a lot of Muck builds online, and because the regular Alolan Muck is still a thing, in that kind of a matchup, I wouldn't even really consider even playing Mew, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to play the baby Alolan Muck anyway, and its ability gets turned off. So for that type of a matchup, I kind of see where you're coming at, but until rotation happens before Worlds, I don't think that Mew's necessarily going to be that good of an answer against that kind of a strategy. At that point, you just kind of have to race them, which we easily can, because while they have access to things like Malamar to start charging up Muck, we can just get in there for a ton more damage more quickly. And like I said, we have a bunch of switching effects where, let's see, Wheezing. Yeah. Well, no. Here's the difference. So, Mew's ability says it prevents damage from attacks. So, it does prevent the damage from Wheezing's attack, but off of its ability, it doesn't prevent that damage.
Oh,
so,
you only have 2 Fire Flint?
Yeah, I only have 2 Fiery Flint.
Okay, that's still okay.
I only put in 2 Fiery Flint because I felt like that's all I needed. I could have gotten more.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just, I don't know, my preference is just the fact that you can get so many cards out of the deck for a trainer card is just kind of insane in itself. And this is like, this can be your draw support. Like, I mean, like, if you're using a Fire Flint once per turn and a Welder once per turn, then that's, what, 7 cards in your hand that you've got out of the deck? That's over a 10th of your deck to begin with. And it just seems to, like, my biggest thing, like, anytime I'm playing, like, I love draw. Like, I will sacrifice cards in deck just to make room for draw. Like, right now, I want to put in a Lily in here too, maybe even Cynthia, just because, like, there is plenty of draw power in this, but, like, it's just my personal thing. Like, there's no better feeling than getting a Lily for 8, but at the same time, with your welders, you're gonna want to utilize these welders all you can. But I do feel like a Lily in here would be beneficial.
And if you're gonna play the Lily, play the pretty one.
Well, I'm probably gonna play more than one, so whatever. Don't matter to me.
Now, here's the obvious one in the room that we haven't really addressed: Volcanion.
Yeah, I feel like Volcanions are great.
I should have at least one. Yeah, I should have at least one promo Volcanion if you wanted to use it. If not, it shouldn't be that hard to get. that is something that I've debated on go ahead and trying out in the list with. No, you spelled it right this first time.
Saw it out the corner of my eye. Now, with the Heat Factory in this deck, I feel like all of this is sufficient draw. If we could fit acrobikes in here, I might want to do that.
I tried an initial list with acrobike, and I found like 9 times out of 10 I didn't need them. It didn't have the desired effect. Now, in decks like the original Buzz Shrine, where acrobikes were essential, and just getting that extra card draw, with this deck you're drawing so many cards, just getting an extra one doesn't necessarily seem great. I've also attempted to play it with Judge Whistle. Judge Whistle just didn't do enough. And the great thing that we have available to us, at least with Limitless, is we can already see all the Japanese lists that have been doing really well, and I was looking at them this morning. And there's several Reshiram Charizard lists that are extremely powerful. Now, the only difference that they have on us is they're almost always a set or so ahead of us, and they have access to cards that we only wish we had. The biggest one being Giant Furnace. Now, when Giant Furnace comes out, most of these cards are no longer going to be relevant.
I mean, the Fiery Flints, for example.
Yep, Fiery Flint becomes irrelevant.
So you might want to go ahead and trade those off since they're so high up in value right now.
I mean, it's just a pretty card. It'll still be worth something.
Oh, that's definitely for true. Now let's see if we can't find that Mars Shadow.
But yeah, for everybody that doesn't know, Giant Furnace. So it's a new stadium card that's going to be coming out with Unified Minds, our next set. And it says, once during each player's turn, that player may discard a card from their hand. If they do, that player searches their deck for up to 2 fire energy cards, reveals them, and puts them into their hand, then shuffle your deck. So basically, it's half of a Fiery Flint minus the discard every single turn.
How does this trade look to you?
Cold Soul.
Oh, sorry.
So 2 packs for Marshadow? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, Cold Soul, if you got an extra Blacephalon that you wouldn't mind, passing on, we'd be more than happy. So, obviously, yeah, just go ahead and shoot me a message. We'll be more than happy to go ahead and do a quick trade with you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Tant. It would be super helpful if you told me your username before. So everybody who doesn't know, Tant is one of our other teammates over here at the Pokemon team.
Hey, Tant, I don't know you.
You'll meet him eventually. He's one of the craziest smart people you'll ever meet.
I mean, that's usually how it works, right?
Not necessarily. He can be smart and boring.
Isn't that more like just a form of insanity?
Semantics.
Boop.
So you could pop that in the list. Now, the one thing that I would say is I would cut that Moltres for a Volcanion.
You know what? I haven't even taken a good look at this Blacephalon. Oh.
See, remember, it's literally the same thing as Turtonator, except this does it from your hand, minus where Turtonator does it from attached to your... Yeah. So, I think a 1/1 of Turtonator Blacephalon is actually fine.
I really do, too, because this will help you get them in the discard for later uses with the Fire Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this early game would actually... I feel like this would be way, way better than actually the Reshiram itself.
Right, so hold on 1 second. Let me steal this mouse from you real quick. All right. Let me go ahead and save this real quick so we can jump back into it. I need to get out of here. Okay. Where's the home page? There's something that should show my username up here real quick. I apologize.
Go to your settings. I think it's in the settings.
Nope. Whatever. Hold on. Might have to take us out of the screen for just a second, ladies and gents. Hold on 1 second. can type. There we go. Sorry about that. Tant needed the username to make the trade. And how do... You can tell that I don't use PTCGO all that often. Jesus, I'm bad. Requests right there. Console. There we go.
Hey guys out there, just wanted to ask just all around what your favorite Pokemon is, or who your favorite Pokemon is. Mine is Gengar, will forever be Gengar. He is the creepiest Pokemon in existence, and he's also probably the softest since he's intangible.
Okay. So, Is that...
Pajama Samus. You like Shuckle? Shuckle's pretty cool. It's rock bug type.
Jesus. Alright, so I see that's for gameplay. How do we set up a trade? Or, actually, I'm dumb.
Yeah, you go to actual trades up to the top.
Okay.
Boop.
That's right, I have to set up a private trade.
Trades. I really don't understand why they gave the trade guy a hoodie. I mean, it just makes this like look like a drug deal to me. I mean, he's got the backpack, he's got the little random thing in his hands, and he looks like he's doing something he shouldn't be.
Okay.
And has anybody noticed, like, how whenever you exit PTCGO online, like, they have that one girl that pops up, do you really want to exit? And it's like...
The saddest face ever.
Yeah, and it's like, they're using psychological manipulation to make people feel bad from leaving this game, and it's just like... Is this, like, for real? Like, you really... Like, I mean, it's like a really low ball shot to even try to even... Because, like, I mean, it doesn't affect me, really, whether or not I hit exit on that or not. But it's still kind of weird that they would do something like that.
Hopefully I spelled Blacephalon right. Nope.
I can't spell. So don't feel bad. You could just go to Pokemon and go to Fire.
Well, duh, because I'm in trainers. That's why. Logan is the dumb. Please forgive me.
Robert2010 says his favorite Pokemon is Aggron. That's a cool Pokemon. Steel type. Looks like a dragon. I can appreciate that. Well, I mean, he looks more like a upright dinosaur kind of deal, but... You're in... Wait, Coal Soul is giving, so, like,
yes.
Why isn't it showing up?
That's what I'm wondering here.
No, it's BA. Isn't it BA?
No, it's BL, Blacephalon.
I thought it was Blacephalon.
Mm-mm. Best anti-Reshizar deck is at the moment? Probably the best established is probably going to be Zoroark Dugong. Would be my guess.
Yeah, hit Ultra Beast. If anybody would like to talk about Gengar, I am more willing to invite any comments involving Gengar.
So yeah, Tant, you say you have it, but we've got everything selected for here, and I don't see anything.
Why don't we exit out to see if he was able to fix it? Because he might have already gone and clicked it for trade, but since we've already started this, try it again. Just go to the create trade part. Nope.
Yeah, because it would show up here in alphabetical order. Jeez, Tant, your account really is old. A good Gengar tag team deck? I actually have one built right now. They are a little bit clunky. There's not anything that's super established yet, though I did play against one online the other day that not accidentally, but just actually rocked me. So it was Gengar Mimikyu tag team that was playing the new Kabutops that says while it's active, prevent your opponent from playing stadiums, which was super relevant.
This is weird.
That stuff should be mine. All right, that one's mine.
Yeah, that one's yours. I was just seeing, like, if there was any difference.
But unfortunately, Robert, they all feel really clunky right now. It's a very control-style deck. You kind of just have to sit there. The deck that I really liked playing was the Omastar version of Item Lock. So you can constantly poltergeist over and over and over again, and your opponent can't really do much about it. Just as of right now, Gengar is not amazing. I feel like there's better options in the format. It could get a little bit better. I know Surprise Box is definitely a tool that really does help it out. But as of right now, it's just, I don't think it's really playable.
Pajama Samus, you always liked Hunter, huh? Well, I mean, that's cool. But, I mean, like...
What
Gengar's
art do you want me
best.
to send? Or what art do I want? Send me any art. It does not matter.
I mean, it's free. We're just thankful.
So it looks like he's just making the trade right now.
Oh, he's gonna send it?
Yeah, that's what it says. Which art do you want me to send
Oh, okay,
you?
okay.
So we're going to stop messing with it.
Well, thank you for giving a message that's...
There we go.
Aha! Are we sure we want to do this?
I mean, I don't know. That's a generation.
I don't know. It's only a hyper rare.
Not my evolution's energy. Ah, that's why I wasn't showing up. I had 4 trades selected in the filters. Whoopsie. But hold on just a second. So, Robert, earlier, this is my Gengar list that I have built right now. Unfortunately, I don't have the surprise box in here as of yet. But basically, the idea is just you're going to stick with Gengar Mimikyu the entire time with having as little bench space as possible for Omastar. Because Fossil Bind is only in effect while you have fewer Pokemon in play than your opponent. So, most people that you're going to be playing against, if they're smart, aren't going to play a lot of Pokemon on their bench, so slowly they will get access to play all the items out of their hands, so Poltergeist doesn't really do anything anymore. But if they get completely set up and then you just throw down one Omastar, you're good. Of course, the only way to do that is with unidentified fossils, which you're going to have to evolve from, so you'll just rare candy into it. And the best way to find it is using a fossil excavation map, which we're running 3 of. 4 order pads, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is kind of important for getting specific items when you need them. But it's a pretty straightforward list. You're just trying to lock your opponent into not doing anything. I had a little bit of success with the deck. I don't feel like it's good enough for the current meta right now. It's a fun deck for sure. You can have a lot of fun with this deck. I just don't think it's great. So, alrighty. Oh, that's right. You were still working on it. So where did it go?
I think I think it's like...
Here we go.
Yeah, it's got a little...
There you go.
Okay, let's see. Boo. I want another. Now some other builds I've seen... Oh, we only got the one. Oh well. we'll just go with this. And possibly...
Never seen someone struggle with the traits.
Well, you know what? I don't have a lot of friends
Thank
that do
you.
this.
Why, I have 3 on here.
Terrence.
Thank you for the compliments.
Okay.
So how goes it?
Just playing around with it right now.
Might as well throw the Blacephalon in since it was so kindly given to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it back eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
And if there's anything that you want to test, just let me know and I'll toss it over your account.
I have everything up until, I want to say Guardians Rising, and then a lot of Lost Thunder stuff if you need anything.
I think maybe the only thing I might need from Lost Thunder is another Zero Aura potentially.
Should have one.
But other than that, it should be fine. Because I am planning on updating Peak Realm, and I think I might need a second Zero Aura.
Yeah, I should have one.
Oh, not a problem, Robert.
Now, do you think Field Blower is played widely right now?
I think that Field Blower should at least be a one of in every deck right now.
Yeah.
Just because purely most people aren't playing Field Blowers as much as they used to.
Because the big thing here is, especially if you're playing a deck like Charizard, Choice Band actually becomes relevant. It becomes important if you're playing the mirror match. So taking them off of that Choice Band can be pretty huge.
The way I see it, any deck that doesn't have a non-Prism Star Stadium that it's running a 3 or 4 of should be running at least one. Because it can't run a counter stadium.
Also, especially if you're in that situation where you're a GX deck and you're playing against a Shrine deck and you can't find another stadium but you have access to a Field Blower. Just sometimes that 1 or 2 extra turns of non-Shrine damage can save you a game.
I love Rescue Stretcher. It's probably one of my favorite cards just because right now with the Marshadow that's out, we can use it to, like, if we need to, we can always pull out the Marshadow to reuse the ability or just to attack with, because it's actually pretty decent against baby Buzzwole. Like it's probably the one. Doesn't it use only 1 energy?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it uses 1 energy and it can knock out a baby Buzzwole. Yeah, and it can also knock out a. Well, no, it wouldn't be able to knock. No, it could actually knock out a Naganadel too, a baby Naganadel.
Yeah, it would.
If they're a Choice Band, it knocks out a big Buzzwole too.
Yeah.
So it's an option. Now, Robert, as far as Metal GX, I don't have the cards yet to build it yet, though it is something that I do want to test. I think that just the regular Metal is already really good with its ability. You can discard a Metal Energy out of your hand and heal up to 100 damage off of it. When you're talking about Metal Frying Pan on it and you've used Lucario and Metal's GX attack on the first turn of your game, that deck can basically shrug off just about everything. So I'm really excited to...
It's talking to me.
I mean, Gengar is my favorite Pokemon.
Like, I'm really excited to test the deck. I just don't think...
Ooh, here we go. This is a hand.
I don't think it can survive the onslaught of fire support right now. Once rotation happens after Worlds, I think Lucario and Metal GX has a really good shot of being a Tier 1 deck. Just as of right now, I'm not too invested of testing it yet, at least until after Nationals and after Worlds. Because at that point, I think gears are going to shift a little bit away from Reshiram and Charizard once we get new sets coming out. I know with Unified Minds, they went ahead and spoiled a couple of the cards from it recently with Mew and Mewtwo tag team, and I know a lot of people are excited for that, especially in Expanded. That's one of the things.
Have y'all heard about the Mega Sableye? It's Mega Sableye and something else.
Oh yes, I
Like
know what
it
you're
just
talking
got
about.
leaked, and it's
I haven't heard about this.
it's great just because the other day I totally was talking to some friends and I was like, "Do you think they'll ever bring back Megas?" And they're like, "No." Why would they?
Wait, so it's not just regular Sableye, it's Mega Sableye?
It's Mega Sableye
Tag
Tag Team
Ooh.
with some other Pokemon that I can't remember, and I don't know, like, am I not doing something, or is my opponent not doing something?
Oh, your opponent's not doing something.
Okay.
Using my account to troll other people.
Well, I mean, like, I would do this if it was my account, so
I'm just
don't...
messing with you. But after this game, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up PokeBeach real quick, and we can go ahead and check on that Mega Sableye tag team, and we can talk a little bit about some of the new cards that are coming out in Unified Minds, because like
I'm pulling it up right now on my phone.
okay.
The Mega Mewtwo's gonna, or the Mewtwo's.
It's Mega Sableye and Tyranitar GX tag team.
Ooh.
And they've actually got what the card does, if you'd like to read it out.
Okay, so I'm super interested, and I know my buddy Chris loves Sableye, so he's gonna be super happy about this.
I'm just glad I
Okay.
called it, because I also called Marshadow Machamp GX tag team.
But trust me, I was happy about that. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Machamp, and if you guys, the only one I'm missing from the new set is I'm missing the alternate art Marshadow Machamp. So if anybody has one, hit me up. I will buy it or trade it from you, no matter what. Y'all need to. If y'all haven't seen my Machamp collection, it's pretty impressive. I love it. It's my favorite. But anyway, so Mega Sableye and Tyranitar GX. 280
I
HP
think you pitch an energy to Viridian and then pitch 2 energies to that, and
Let's
you
see.
get Fire Crystal off your back.
for 4 dark energies and a colorless Greed Crash. Does 210 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon GX or EX and is knocked out by damage from this attack. Take 1 more prize card.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good. And then for 4 dark energies and a colorless, so the same attack cost as the regular attack. Gigafall GX, 250 damage. If you have 5 additional energy attached to this Pokemon, in addition to the attack cost, discard 15 cards from the top of your opponent's deck.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
How much damage is it?
250 damage, so the damage is good.
For 4 energies base? Or 5?
It's 5 energies if you have an extra...
4?
No, if you have an additional 5 attached to it. So it's going to take 10 total energy to do the 250 damage and to get the mill effect off. I think that the GX attack is not very good, but its regular attack, the 210, and if you're knocking out a GX or an EX, take extra prizes. Honestly, that's pretty solid. The only downside is it's going to take a lot of energy to get that set up. So...
Well, I mean, in Expanded, you just throw some Max Elixirs and Dark Patches in there, and that card's going to tear up.
That's true, but I'm trying to think for Standard if it could make an immediate impact, because there is a lot of Dark support
I
coming.
don't think so. Unless you Nanu into it, I don't think so.
What does Nanu do again?
He's Ninja Boy from your discard pile.
That's right.
He doesn't have to grab a basic.
Goodbye, Jirachi. You are the weakest link.
Oh, I could have done the Blazer and not have to discard.
Yeah, the mill effect would be really strong if you could get the energy, but again, we're talking 10 energy attachments to one Pokemon to mill 15 cards.
Oh, you know what I forgot to put in this? Energy
Now,
switch.
I get that 15 cards is a whole quarter of your deck. That's a ton of cards. And it probably would end the game if you were able to pull it off.
But
It
with
just-
that GX attack, you should be ending the game anyway.
Yeah. Like, there should be no reason.
The mill's not worth the additional 5 energies.
It's not. And again, you're only going to be able to do it once. So,
Just play
yeah, it is basically an insta-win at that point.
Durant Devour with building that up on the back line until it has 10 energies.
That's disgusting. You stop
It's
that.
not even good. It's perfect.
You stop that. We don't need these bad ideas floating around because somebody would try it.
Can't stop it. Good night, Robert. I do agree with you that there is way too much fire. Man, Goldfinger. Yeah, Goldfinger. Sure likes to take their time.
That's more time for you to spam emotes.
I mean, you're not wrong. And like, I'm just gonna get the happy.
You're gonna
react
build
every
it
time they do
Pajama?
something.
All right, well, Pajama Samus, if you get this deck built, let me know. I will be more than happy to play you and watch you beat me on stream, and we can both have a good laugh about it because it will just prove Tant right
It's a bad deck.
that it's a bad
Even
deck,
I know it's a bad deck.
and it'll just prove it right that I'm a bad player. But nah, I always like cool decks like that. If you can get something crazy, let me know. I'd be more than happy to play against it. All right, it's a bet.
Now I can already see where I've gone wrong with this deck build to begin with, because like you really don't need the Cynthias.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is my first time playing with this, so like I'm completely new to all of how this playstyle would have to go along with this deck.
I think Sightseer would be better than Cynthia. In all honesty.
I just don't like the draw support. Like, I just don't think you need it.
That's a good point.
Because
Because I mean, like I've already gone through nearly a quarter of my deck
mm-hmm.
on my first turn.
And you're already drawing more cards off of welders every turn anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say Catterday is a meme deck even at this point. I mean, yes, it's got a theme to it, but Catterday is honestly not a bad, like, budget strategy. Now, I would rather play Zoroark and Persian GX. That's a pretty legit deck. You play that with Dugong, and you play it with the triple acceleration energy. It's not bad, honestly.
I'm kind of dumb. Sorry,
How
guys.
does triple acceleration energy read again?
So, you...
It's 3 colors that you discard at the end of turn, right?
Yes. And I believe it has to be attached to an evolution Pokemon. Otherwise, it doesn't do anything.
Now I need 4 in hand in order to do this, right?
Yep.
Alright,
And
there
they
you
just
go.
concede.
Got him.
Got him, coach.
That was unexpectedly. That happened unexpectedly because I thought, like with the hand I had, like I mean, it just didn't seem
It wasn't
like
going anywhere.
it didn't seem like it was going anywhere. But they just didn't have time for it.
Go up to the orange tab.
Hmm?
There you go.
Let's see here. I am going to take this out for now. This out for now.
Cynthia's?
I do like the Cephalon. That's pretty spicy.
I think we should go ahead and get another Turtonator and put it in the list.
I can agree with that. I can get behind that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Recycle energy is in the next set, right? Or is it in the set?
Recycle Energy?
Yeah.
No, Recycle Energy's already out.
It was an unbroken.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have any, but
I'm kind of torn on the Lily.
I don't think it's good enough. Because
I don't
remember,
think it's gonna- yeah, I
because you're
don't-
going to have a ton of cards in your hand anyway. Then Lily draws you, like, a card. Honestly, if you were going to play anything, like, draw support, I would prefer to have another Cynthia in the list. So if you have a bunk hand that doesn't do anything, you could at least Lele for a Cynthia and get it in hand.
Ooh, okay, yeah, so let's do that. Let's just go to trainers and leave the Cynthia in there.
Really bad counter idea.
Mhm.
What about Red's challenge?
Ooh, that's actually not bad.
I'm not sure if I have a Reds, but we can check. Oh, we do. We have one Reds challenge.
Now, do we just go with the one Cynthia and one red? Because I mean, in either or situation,
I think it's fine.
yeah.
I mean, the
Nah.
other option is Green Search.
But what did
But
Pokemon
we
look
got
like?
we got a lot of abilities here. We got the Milk Tank,
Oh yeah, that's
2,
true.
3.
Salazzle, Dedenne, Marshadow,
Mew. Lele.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
reason
have
to
your
play
Pokemon have abilities.
Yeah.
Can you get back to your trainers real quick? Let's go over to the supporters. Do you have a surge?
No, not in here. Lieutenant Dan.
I've got 5.
Well, yeah, you can run that and double welder.
You're not wrong.
That would be pretty disgusting.
Ooh, what if we put in Miss Magius?
Which one is that? Chaos Wheel one?
I think that's going a little too wide. If you were gonna put in Miss Magius, you would have to cut a lot of Pokemon.
You would have to really kind of revamp this whole thing. But
If you were gonna do that, I would take out the Salazzle and the Salandit, and I would also take out. I would either go down. We'd have to go down either one of the Turtonator line or the Blacephalon line, and take out the Miltank.
I think you could get rid of the Dedenne.
No, the Dedenne, it's going to be doing the same thing. It's drawing you more cards.
Yeah, but you won't need it as much if you got two. Okay, so the Miss Magius that we're talking about.
Because you're also going to have to grab the Dusk Stones as well.
It's the Chaos Wheel one, right?
Do we not have any?
I might not have opened it yet. I have not opened a ton of packs of this set. Most of the packs that I had gotten for this set went directly into getting those Reshizards.
Right.
Because I opened the Hyper Rare and then I had to go trade for the other two, and there wasn't, when the cards first came out, there wasn't a trade under like 17 packs.
Let's just stick with this for now because it doesn't look like we have the Miss Magiuses.
So it has Chaos Wheel, and then what's his other attack do?
Well, I mean, it's not an attack. It's just the ability. The ability is you discard it from the field, your opponent gets a prize. You knock it out, your opponent gets a prize, and you get to draw 7 cards. Discard your hand, draw 7. And with Duststone, you can evolve on the turn that you play the basic or this whatever.
Mischievous.
Yeah, you can just straight up go to Miss Magius from deck, and then pitch her, make the Lieutenant Surge live, play the Lieutenant Surge on your turn. You can go off like and use a Welder or Reds or a Cynthia or whatever, and if you're going second, you can just go ham on their field.
It almost sounds like an Exodia deck, though.
I like it though. I like that kind of thing.
There's nothing wrong with an Exodia deck.
You've given me these cards to play with. Here I am playing with them. This is what you get. I'm degenerate right now. Like I'm looking for any card combinations that will give me the win.
So Pajama Samus, how does one get a draw in Pokemon Online? What happened that forced a draw? I've never had a
If you
draw
knock out
online.
both Pokemon at the same time. Usually it's off of attacks that deal damage to themselves.
Oh,
Or
do they not
poison.
have like a sudden death mode in online?
Nope, because it's best of ones.
Gotcha. Well, still, you would think that even if it is still a best of one, that you would have some sort of sudden death type thing to determine a winner.
Nope, you just both get points.
Okay.
Oh, spell
Interesting,
tag on
man.
Wheezing. Interesting.
So tag on what?
Spell tag on Wheezing.
What does Weezing do?
Weezing's the one where it's like not reverse shrine, but it's shrine to everything. Put 10 damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon.
Okay.
And then its attack does so it did go into sudden death?
Okay, so we're playing against grass. This is already favored.
You should use Santa and get rid of all of his energies.
I mean, I really want to.
Now, hold on. Hover over Marshadow real quick. Can we discard a Stadium off of Marshadow?
Yeah.
So, yeah, their Life Forest is gone.
Well, I mean, we already got Heat Factory. We're just gonna play the Heat Factory right now.
You should get rid of the Life Force just to flex, though.
Oh, okay, so didn't know how it worked until it happens. Game restarts, and it's first to win. Or first knockout wins, okay. Interesting.
Let's go ahead and get a Pokemon.
Get you a Pokemans.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and do this since we're
Ooh,
gonna.
you got 2 of them prized.
Sting Kiawe.
It'll be okay.
Definitely Heat Factory first and attach.
Well,
And then you just you click on it.
That confused me that the Life Force didn't move.
Yeah, it just it's like what?
It's like nope.
What?
No.
Well, I think he discarded. I don't think he actually played it.
What?
Yeah. No, yeah. So I would attach to Reshiram and Charizard and then just play Kiawe, because then you have the option on the next turn. You can just attach a Fire Energy, Guzma something up, and just destroy it.
Okay.
Because it looks like they're playing Venomoth. I don't think.
This Venomoth deck is really unusual, and I've actually already played against it, so like I know a little bit of what to expect. And that's whenever it attacks, if you've used a Janine or a Koga's, the effect of the attack different. It has a different effect.
So it'll like paralyze you or poison you.
Well, no. Whenever you play Koga, you get confused and poisoned. But whenever you attack with the Venomoth GX, if you've used Koga this turn, next turn your opponent can't do. Oh wait, no. The attack does 200 more damage.
Gotcha.
So the attack does. Well, I mean, it does 200 damage total because it hits for 110. And
yeah,
then
here comes Venomoth GX. So you can just Guzma up the Venomoth.
Yeah, it hits for 90 more damage if you use a Koga strap. If you play Janine, it does. You can't take any damage from basics.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna have to hope for is to maybe get a Lieutenant Surge at some point,
I mean, you can
and
just
then
Guzma
double
it now.
Guzma.
But yeah, I would just Guzma.
I'm totally going to. Energy for turn can go here. I can go ahead and do that and draw some cards. I can go ahead and do this just to do it.
So you definitely got Welder for next turn.
Yeah. And I would like this big boy so he can play with my big boy.
Oh, Janine cancels your attack? Interesting. That's a dead bug.
Googly eyes. Oh, look, I already hit one. How boss.
Are we having fun yet?
Hey, friend.
Yes.
Hey, friend.
It's a party.
Everybody just wants to be on camera today.
Are you mad?
JD just likes making faces.
Are you
I can't
live?
do any damage
Yes,
with
we
it
are
next
live.
turn. That's okay, though.
Hello, poker people.
What's Marshadow's retreat?
They can't see
Just
you.
one.
I don't care. That's probably best for them that they don't see me, but they can hear me.
I mean, I don't mind seeing you.
Oh.
You can attach to Marshadow Guzma up the Lele. And
Ah.
knockout.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I would really like to have the milk tank right now, though.
The other.
Hey, you have a mill tank.
Well, actually, hold on. Let's see. How much? No, you can just you can outrage and knock him out.
Oh yeah, because it gets around effect.
So what I would do, go ahead and grab you could grab something else, but play down Reshizard, Welder onto the new Reshizard, outrage, knock him out, and then that way, like on your next turn, you can play Cynthia, get like a brand new hand, and then just try to keep attaching, and then you can double blaze for the win next turn.
Wait, how's Outrage getting around the effect?
Wait, what did he play? What am I missing?
So when you place a Jasmine, you prevent all effects.
Oh,
of
so
your
he played
opponent's attacks.
Jasmine,
Yeah,
okay.
so that thing's not taking
Janine.
damage. Or Janine is not taking damage this turn.
From
Okay.
basics.
Yeah.
So
So just Guzma up the Lele.
well, no. What I could do right now is I can manually retreat, bring up the milk tank, and then attach with Welder.
Yeah, but then you're stuck with Miltank, and you have no way to get out
He has
of
a
it.
yeah. You wouldn't be able to Guzma out this turn. So you'd have to wait a full turn.
Oh yeah, I need to get a switch.
Yeah, if you just attach to Marshadow, its retreat is 1, and you can just Guzma into it and retreat back.
Oh, I
Oh,
got the
there's a
switch.
switch.
I mean, like that's just how you do it. You just play good.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
I mean for real. So like now I can actually manually retreat out of this, and I'd still be able to do the double blaze to knock this out to get past the ability.
The effect's on the Venomoth, not him. So you're not knocking that Venomoth out.
Not without the ability, you should be able to do it, right? If this Pokemon is at least. And this attacks damage isn't affected by any
on
effects.
your opponent's active. Can you click on the Venomoth?
Preventing all damage onto this Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's on it, so it should hit.
So, but I would need three extra energies on it, wouldn't I?
You'd need 6. Actually, you could just attach and hit it.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do is heal, but whatever.
I mean, I think you can take knockout. That Venomoth or the Venonat back there has no energy on it.
Should I go ahead and Cynthia just so I get like other cards?
No.
I think you keep the 2 Guzmas.
Okay, yeah, good point. So now I can double blaze and do the ability.
Yes.
Boom. But got the other.
So yeah, now you're pretty much set.
Yeah, they're not doing well.
What is Venomoth's weakness? Well, we just found out it's fire.
I mean, yeah.
It's damage.
Yeah.
It's damage. It dies to getting hit.
I got played against this deck and like I was one turn away from winning, but like what I did by accident is you see there's a baby Venomoth that has an attack for I think a DCE, and that is if they're doing me a favor right now by sending him out to the bench.
What does Radar Eyes do?
Nothing really useful.
So, yeah.
He loses.
Yeah. Essentially.
This poor man.
I'm just gonna.
No, you should surge.
I can't. Boop, boop. I'm just doing the nice thing.
No, you should surge and then goose with the wrong thing and then goose with the right thing.
All right, I'll waste a little bit of their time. Does that feel good?
Yes.
And
Oh
then
god, they
scoop.
rage quit at the end.
Yeah.
Hey, you get more points for that.
Oh yeah, they do.
Let the
No
hate
wonder
flow.
people like doing that so much. But okay. From what I can see with the deck thus far, let me take a look at it one more time because this is just my process. Like, I'll go through and see what I like and see what was useful to me, and I'll theorize, I guess. The nest balls are definitely handy. I feel like you could play more fire crystals, but I don't know if you would like to.
I feel like 3 is kind of like your happy place with fire
Yeah.
crystals.
Same.
There hasn't been too many times where, unless I've been just aggressively discarding fire energies, where I've really needed more than 3. And at that point, if I'm losing the game, it's my own fault.
I'm also not a fan of this Lazo. I feel like it's not worth the bench slot.
I'm just doing it just to see. Like, I mean, like, in that game, like, this is just how Retrozard is going to work. Like, it's just gonna be able to go off really quickly, really early, and still have plenty of draw. So, like, what could more draw hurt?
Yeah.
And like it's just like on the off chance your opponent does something like unpredicted and is playing some weird tech card. Like it's just I don't know. It just feels like my cup of tea.
His hand looks like a winner.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like I don't know what I want to do with this because like I got the Ultra Ball and I want to do things.
I think you destroy this man.
So here's what you do. You're gonna attach an energy for turn. You're gonna Ultra Ball for a Marshadow. You're gonna play the Kiawe and pass.
Well, I don't have the Let Loose Marshadow in here. I took it out.
Oh, you took it out?
Yeah.
Well,
Grab the.
well, he's still got to be able to play.
Yeah, he's. What's Persephone do? 10 plus.
Oh, it does 10 plus, and if one of the prize cards you flip with the attack is a fire energy, it does 50 more damage. But the fire circus is what does 50. You discard any energy from your hand, any amount of energy from your hand. It does 50 for each that you discard.
I think you grabbed him.
Countercatchers? No, just because countercatchers, you're trying to
Then go
be
to
the
bench
aggressor
instead of
here.
And then go ahead and bench it so you don't get
Yeah.
Donked.
knocked.
I think it'd be very hard to get donked here.
I'll say
But
it's pretty.
I would just
unlikely.
I would attach the energy to the Blacephalon here.
Yeah, and then Kiawe onto the Zard.
Feel safe. Okay, come on. Please work.
But yeah, for Countercatcher, you really only want to run that deck or run that card in decks that you feel like you are trying to run from behind. In decks like spread decks, Countercatchers are pretty good.
One prize attacker decks.
One prize attacker decks, yes, is when Countercatcher is really good. In decks like Charizard, no, you're trying to be the aggressor right out of the gate.
And that's kind of the thing I was getting at with the Miss
As I
Magius.
say, run any deck with that.
If you play Miss Magius, it opens up everything with the counter abilities. Like it opens up counter energies. It opens up counter catcher. It opens up Lieutenant Surge. Like it's. I feel like if you played Miss Magius right with Retrozard, it would be just like a steamroller tank. Like it would just.
You'd be behind by one prize on turn one, but you would immediately take the lead.
It wouldn't matter. Like, it wouldn't matter because even if you use 2 Miss Magius and they take out a knockout on one of your Reshizzards, they still have to take 1 more prize. And if it's a Reshizzard, so what?
Make them play the 8 prize game.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Make them work for it. Oh look, he played a Heat Factory for me.
So nice.
What a nice
I mean,
card.
like,
The
oh,
real
God.
MVP.
Oh no,
You got the double fire energy in hand.
I ain't got no energy in hand. I ain't got no.
Opponent had double fire energy on the Lele.
Why?
The fear.
The fear is real.
Oh, they just use a compute. They should have. Why didn't they do the? Oh, they didn't even
It's
have
alright,
enough
just-
energy to knock me out. That's the reason why they did it.
Just switch Guzma up the Lele, play the Dedenne for a fresh hand, and annihilate him.
Yup. No, don't Guzma.
Why not?
Yes, Guzma.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you could.
It gets rid of the energies he got on board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably confused
Like,
as all
Guzma's
heck.
gone anyway.
Yeah, I'll discard my hand and draw 6. Thank you.
Oh, custom catcher?
I think the Marshadow is actually worth benching.
Should I go ahead and play it since I don't have energy?
Yeah, just in case he Marshadows.
Custom
Like,
catcher
possible.
for this kind of a deck, you don't really need it. You've already got access to your Guzmas.
What about the other rush around?
I'd leave it in your hand for now.
Yeah, leave it in your hand. Because next
Could
turn
I
you can
go
play
ahead-
Kiawe if you need to.
Could I go ahead and play the Ultra Ball for something right now?
I don't see a reason to. Please open your choice for supporters next turn.
Yeah, alright.
So-
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Lele.
Top 2 this time.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, heck
Hey,
yeah.
these
Hey.
supporters are looking really good.
I mean, who doesn't love energy acceleration and draw? Welder is just the most ridiculous card that Pokemon's ever come out with, and they don't even feel bad coming out with it because,
Welder's the first time I've seen a supporter that says draw 3 that I approve of.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then not only that, but then they make the full art just like completely blow your mind even further, and then you're like, I don't have any problem with this at all, like none. And it's just like, in the back of my head though, it's screaming like, I have so many problems with this. But because I have 3 Reshiram Charizards in
Can't
my
have a problem with it.
in my personal physical collection, I don't have any problems with it at all. In fact, I just want to laugh maniacally. Who wants to hear me laugh maniacally?
I want to hear you say maniacally.
Evilly. Ha 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 ha!
Okay, man, Dark.
I haven't heard that laugh in years.
Wow.
Let's just use Ultra Space. See if I have the baby. What's it? What's his basic?
Sand it.
Oh, Salandit.
Yeah. So we
Sand
could go
Vito.
into deck with Ultra Ball. I mean, like right now, the only issue is that I don't have.
I would honestly just Cynthia for a new hand.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was feeling. Should I go ahead and Ultra Ball for a few things? Like I could get rid of the Kiawe and.
The Surge.
Do you want to get rid of the Surge?
Surge only works if you're behind, right?
Yep.
I'll say
You can
that.
only play it if you're behind on prizes.
I'll say
That could
that.
happen pretty quickly with a tag team deck. I feel like we go for just the Milk Tank for now.
Seems decent.
And this is just going to help us thin out our deck. That's all I'm really trying to achieve before I go ahead and Ultra Ball. And let's see, how many... I got plenty of Welders in deck, and I've got 2 more Guzmas left in deck.
One more Guzman left in deck.
Well, no, I play 3.
including that
I mean,
one,
I
yeah.
play 4. So I could Ultra Ball away the Welder and the Guzma for something else. I could even...
Is there anything
You
worth
know what?
grabbing?
I do know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to burn a Reshizzard for now. This probably doesn't seem like the most optimal play, but you know what? Here it is. I like to get rid of cards. Now, here's something. We could... Well, no, we can't. Not with what we have for energy this turn. I'm going to leave that open for Lele next turn if possible. I think we go ahead and Viridian. How many energies do we have in Grave? Just one?
I think pitch an energy to Viridian, attach one to go ahead and start building up a second Zard.
Well, should I go ahead and build up the Cephalon?
Nah.
Now you're not going to have any energy to reveal.
Fair enough.
So now you can activate Viridian next turn and get a full Fire Crystal.
And if you set up with the Charizard now, you also have the option to welder onto it next turn should you get into one, whereas Blacephalon, you could welder anyway.
I'm going to knock this out with just Outrage anyway, so...
Goodbye. There's the baby one.
We're just sit here and chill now. I do see how the Salazzle is probably not necessary. So we might be just going ahead and X that out. Because, like, I mean, we got the draw. We got draw power out the wazoo. Now, the only thing I don't like right now is that they have access to Viridian Forest.
They only have 2 cards in hand.
True.
They also don't have their Naganadel set up yet, so
Yeah.
it should be fine.
Shutting them off from that is nice.
I think he just had a really slow start. Like, he had the first turn welder, but, like, he didn't get to do anything with it.
It's because you had the turn 1 Kiawe.
We get let loose, which is honestly fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Like, give me more energy. Yeah,
Or computer search.
I mean, that'll work.
Actually, that's just a Fire Crystal on the welder.
Yup.
I mean, how many do I have in discard?
Exactly 2.
Yeah, that'll work.
You can top
I
deck
could
another
even
one, you
I could
can
even use
Forest.
Viridian, yeah.
You could honestly just pitch the nest ball to Viridian Forest
Yeah,
and be
that's
fine.
what I was probably that's what I was thinking of. Uh-oh, I'm confused. How can we get out of this? Draw fire. So now I can pitch with this, get this, just have all the energy, you know. I'm good. Play the Fire Crystal, get all 3. Bob's your uncle.
Welder into the back one with manual retreat.
Yeah.
I could actually knock it out with the Blacephalon.
Yeah, but you would be discarding all of your energies that way, and that doesn't seem great.
Because you'd have to attach 2 to it first.
Well, off the welder though.
Well, you would only have.
Yeah,
Is discard from hand or discard from?
It's discard from hand.
discard from
Yeah,
hand.
so you'd only do 100.
Well, I mean, like I'm banking on drawing something with the
The water.
yeah.
Just you gotta click done first.
Herp. And you see, look, we would have had the energy needed for me to, because I have this.
You right.
I mean, we should have just gone with, you know, the obvious choice, which is just always just be
Just
lucky.
bet on drawing the
You just
2
just be
cards
lucky.
that you
Like
needed.
there's no reason not to be lucky. Like you have no excuse.
Can't remember last time I was lucky.
Hey, friend, remember me?
What's up, it's your
Boy!
I mean, this is just ridiculous. Like Charizard is it. I mean, are we really even playing a game right now? Like, are you having fun? Baby Rattle? Baby Rattle? Oh, you're already crying. I didn't even get to do the smiley face. At least they got to take a prize. I mean, this is just rocking and rolling. But let's go ahead and take out this Salazzle and put in the Marshadow real quick, and maybe something else.
I think first we should take 5 minutes to deal with the prize thing.
The what?
Prize
Oh, the
thing at
chest?
bottom. Yeah, because it takes forever.
I mean, yeah. No skip button. I mean, Salazzle's gonna bring a lot to the meta, like for non-Charizard Reshiram decks. That's for sure. But
Unknown Hand is best deck in format.
The card is
Okay, come
bad,
on.
and you should feel bad.
Huh?
I said that card is bad, and you should feel bad.
should we play 2 of the Marshadow Let Loose?
Nah. Just one's fine.
Okay. Well, we got room for one more card. What do y'all feel like?
Do we have a Giovanni?
We do not.
I should have one.
That actually might be worth it.
Just so you can get rid of what?
So you can clear up your bench to
Mm.
use all of your
Dedenne.
support
And
Pokemon.
Dedenne and Lele or just
Yeah.
anything. You got a Reshizar that's about to bite the dust.
Well, I mean,
It
like,
can't get rid of things with damage counters on them.
yeah, you can't get
Ah.
anything with damage counters. So, do we want to do Acerola? I mean, it puts energy back in her hand, which is always kind of a good thing.
That's actually not a bad
It's not
idea.
bad.
I'll be right back.
I'm gonna go to my office.
Okay. So you've got the floor for now, sir. I just gotta go use the bathroom. Here, take the next chair.
Ooh, thank you. Hey, guys. Let's see. Pajama Samus, what's your question about Red's challenge? Do you not know the ability? Oh no, we totally already put one in though. We got a Reds challenge in here. I totally don't disagree with you all on that. Like, it's a great card. I mean, it's just instant gratification whenever you get to use one. Thanks for the suggestion. I mean, right now I'm a pretty experienced player. Look at what, Cold Soul. Oof. Heartbreak. This is suboptimal because we had like we had some nuts going on in that hand. Ugh. Okay. Not much to do with this hand other than cry. Depending on how this goes out, we can Lele for. We'll just have to see what we top deck here. Man, our opponent they're so good. I mean, I wish I could be as good as this person right now. They literally went first turn and got a let loose out and like got rid of a really, really good hand, and they're just going off for no reason. Like, they can't even attack right now. I mean, how can you teach me how to be that good?
Well, sir, you first have to get good. That's about all I can say.
You know what? Your wise words will forever be remembered.
Ugh. Well,
He's saying, look at this, but I don't know what is it this?
I think he's talking about our opponent.
Mm.
Well, at least we got Lele.
We got Lele. Now, the only question is what to do with it, because...
Probably just go get a Cynthia. That's what I would do. I mean, you could
Yeah.
you could weld her,
Could
but
weld her.
it's not going to do much because we do want to try to go ahead and get that Mew out.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Make sure Mew's in the deck.
No. Of course not.
Oof.
And look how many energies are prized. We got 3 in hand, so that means that there's only 2 prized, but still. Good Googa
I would just go get Cynthia. I think that's going to be your best bet.
Unfortunately, I have to agree. Even though I so badly want to just like weld her and just hope to get the nuts on the draw. Because even if we couldn't, we could still explosive jet this turn.
Yeah, but it wouldn't get a knockout.
Should
That's
I
the
go
only
ahead and
thing.
attach?
No, I would just Cynthia.
Should I play this out?
I would wait on the Reshizard just so they don't have it as a target. You could attach for turn is an option.
Now, this might sound crazy. Should I... No, I can't do that. But I can go ahead and use a Fiery Flint. Because I'm not going to use... I can go ahead and do it like this, because I'm not going to be able to Kiawe this turn.
Mm-hmm.
And this will get me 4 more cards out of my deck. And if anything, what I can do right now is I can attach to the Lele just for retreat.
Mm-hmm. And next turn it'll give you options to... Because what you could do is you could attack with Reshiram Charizard in the next turn.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. Well, no, I wouldn't be able to because I would only have 3 energy on it. Well, it looks like they've got no mercy. I understand. Oh, wow. Weird. Wow.
So yeah, I think you just get in there with Reshiram Charizard this turn. Or honestly, you could get in there with Turtonator.
Could.
Yeah, just get in there with Turtonator this turn.
Yeah.
Welder, see what you get.
And this will make my fire crystals live. And we
Honestly,
could do the switch.
I would just hard retreat it because it'll give you access to the switch on the next turn if you need it.
Right.
And you only have to discard one of those energies off the explosive jet to get the knock. Well, no, you have to do 2.
Why?
Because
it's not weak to fire. Because it's not weak. Because it's a dragon type.
Mm-hmm.
Boop, boop. Now we did go ahead and play the Reshiram to the bench.
I still think it's fine.
Yeah, it should be because they already used the Guzma last turn to bring up the Lele. I'm not really sure why. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Easy wins, boys.
After the nuts start into nothing, just looks like they didn't have it.
I don't know why they quit. Like, I mean, they had board state. Once they got the Reshiram Charizard out, they were just like, nope, not having none of this. But no, getting back on the Venonat that I was telling you about earlier, the baby Venonat, it for like a DCE or a single energy, it does 90 to the bench if the active, if your opponent's active Pokemon has a status condition on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you play Koga.
So what happened was is that I had a Zapdos that had 10 damage left, and being in my mindset, it's like, oh, this is going to easily be knocked out. It's got energy on it anyway. Might as well send it up for the slaughter. And I didn't even think about the fact that he could play the Koga's Trap and then be able to use the baby, oh, I forgot his name. The baby
Venomoth.
The baby Venomoth. I didn't even think they could use the baby Venomoth. Well, I didn't think they would be able to get the 2-prize win. Like, we were in turns. Like, I was going to literally be on my last turn when I took the win. And I would have had it if I hadn't have screwed up and put the damaged Pokemon into the active. It still vexes me to this day. And I don't know if any of you out there have ever had any losses that have just all around been bad times for you, but I feel for you. What kind of deck do you think this person's playing?
He's playing Zoroark.
Zoroark. Should I get rid of the choice band?
I'm honestly surprised that you played Fiery Flint.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just getting stuff out of the deck.
I mean, why wouldn't you just Cynthia here?
I'm
Either that or let loose.
Yeah, well, I'm actually about to let loose. The only reason why I was doing this is because I don't know, like I get into like a mode where I just play cards, so like I mean, I kind of want to just let loose right here. But we're gonna go in Cynthia and hopefully get an Ultra Ball or something. But for right now, like I'm just trying to get rid of cards out of deck and see what happens.
I would switch into the Turtonator.
Well,
because they're not going to be able to do anything to it.
true. Should I go ahead and put the Retrosword back into the deck? Or on the field?
You could do that. I think it'd be safe because it opens you up to Welder on the next turn.
Yeah.
I think on the choice band would be fine.
Yeah.
You've already attached for turn.
All right, we went through 9 cards. We got 9 cards in the discard pile on our first turn. I feel like you're really going off in your deck. I feel like you're really going off on your first turn if you've got around 11 to 13 cards in your discard pile going first. Just because like once you get to the like 10 cards in discard pile, I mean that's just really showing how much much you've gone through in a deck, because it allows you to kind of
I would just Kiawe onto the Charizard from here, because next turn you can just Guzma up whatever they bring.
Should I go ahead and put the energy on the Turtonator?
I think that's fine. There's not really anything big in their deck that they're probably going to be playing.
Yeah. Will Kiawe be rotating?
Kiawe, I believe. Here, hover over it real quick. Alright, so Burning Shadows, so yes. I don't.
Did it get reprinted though?
No, because I think the full art was in the same set.
Full art wasn't the same set, but I could have sworn there was another reprint of it. Like in the same one as the Schoolgirl Lily came in?
So, Ultra Prism?
Well, I mean, there was another one where Schoolgirl Lily came in. There's been a lot of reprints of Lily. I don't... We got the Welder. It doesn't look like they have much in their hand to begin with. And like what I would really like to do right now is Guzma and knock this out.
That was my first thought as well.
But I don't really have anything to knock it out with other than the Charizard.
I mean, that's fine.
And that kind of just feels bad though. Like, what's it gonna hurt though if they do get that off? Like if they do get the Muck.
I mean, you don't really have any other cards in your deck. I mean, you could also go ahead and just pop the Marshadow now if you felt like it.
It's not really hurting me right now, so I'd rather keep that for free retreat. And should I hold on to the energy?
I would hold on to the energy for now.
Okay.
And just Flare Strike. Because if you get Heat Factory.
Yeah. Oh, there we got another energy for Welder next turn at least. Well, looks like they're gonna do some recycling this turn. Really enjoying that Lieutenant Surge that I let him have. Oof. Team Skullgrunt. That is a great card to be playing right now, considering the format.
Mm.
That's brutal.
And the question is, what do they choose to put back in? Yep, so it looks like they're going to try to keep the chain up.
Mm-hmm. So this is definitely going to be a more control form deck.
I mean, you have knockout for the next 2 turns.
I can't attack with Flare Strike this turn, so I feel like a key outway into the Turtonator.
But you can double blaze.
I could, but I'd rather save it for a bigger Pokemon.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Double blaze... There's nothing that double blaze, knocks out now that Flare Strike can't also do. Because at this point, you're just putting more and more pressure on them. Because you're still going to be able to chain knockouts.
Here we go.
At a certain point, they're going to have to start swinging into you with Zoroarks. Otherwise, you can just chain this for forever.
True.
Again, this is also fine. Because you can Fiery Flint away the Kiawe and the Surge, play Welder, and just Explosive Jet.
I'm actually going to hang on to the Surge for now.
Why would you? You're never going to be behind on prizes against them. This is Zoroark control. You're never going to go down under prizes against them. Their entire strategy is to mill you out.
Fair enough. We only got 2 left in deck, dang. So you were saying Welder onto the Turtonator?
That's what I would do.
Now, should I save this energy in hand?
Wait and see what you get.
Yeah, but I'm kind of worried about those Team Skullgrunts.
So
Oh wait, no, we don't have to worry about that with the Fire Crystal now. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this.
Yeah, just because it gives
Just
you more
for-
options.
And let's Nest Ball for. Should I let loose them? No, they got 4 cards. In
Well,
hand.
also Nest Ball wouldn't let you do that
What?
because it puts it straight onto the bench.
Oh, you're right.
Honestly, I mean, you could go get Blacephalon. That's fine. I would keep the Mew in your hand.
Yeah. Keep this in hand as well and just go ahead and attack.
So it'd have to be 3, and you could just do it all off the. Or you could do off the. You could do 2 off the Turtonator and 1 off of the Marshadow. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
And see, we got Welder for next turn.
Nice. I really think like the Blacephalon Turtonator one of in this deck is really great because depending on what deck you're playing and how your hand is, you have options to get one shots with either or of these 2 Pokemon. Like they just have utility all around. Like if you get too much in hand, just use Baby Blacephalon. You got a lot on the field and it's late game. Throw out the Turtonator.
So yeah,
We're just gonna Fire Crystal,
just keep chaining them.
and like, there's no reason to bring out Charizard Reshiram, so. And I'm only gonna need 2 to knock it out.
That's still just attach.
I'm gonna attach to the Blacephalon, and I don't need a Nest Ball. There's no other way I can attach. And next turn I could Lele. Let's Nest Ball to see if I got the Lele.
You do have the Lele.
Okay.
You just fail search.
Yeah.
And then you got the Fire Crystal too.
So let's see.
Probably do it the same you did the last time. Do 2 and 1.
I'm just gonna do the 2 off of
Oh,
this.
yeah,
that's
that's
all I
right.
need.
Bye bye.
Now, do you think Kui would have any playability in this?
I don't think you. I think you would rather like if it came around like you're drawing into a Kukui over a welder. I think it would just tick you off more than anything because
More
you'd be like,
likely, yeah.
I would rather have the welder in this situation.
Nah,
Yeah, it does.
joke's on you,
Nothing.
fool. Ain't got nothing. I'm saving my fire crystals all for you.
Goodbye.
Thank you. I mean, this deck obviously would have more versatility with the Team Skullgrunt if they played Lavender Town. Now, there's really nothing I don't see going for right now other than Lele into a welder.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go ahead and get rid of the Mew and the Nest Ball. Yeah, this is ridiculous. Like this. I'm really liking the feel of this deck. How do you feel about it?
I love it.
Yeah. Do you want to try your build now?
Let me try around with your build.
Okay. Would you like the comfy chairs?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
I'm still blown away with this. Like, I'm so glad that they came out with a Mega and they introduced it within the tag team. So, like, that's just, to me, that's just more setup for them to come out with even better tag teams. And just,
Gengar guy.
I mean, hey, you got Gengar and Mega Gengar tag team. I'm your boy. Like, I will eat that up all day. Like, give me all the Gengars. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but I have a fairly large sized plushie of Gengar at my house. It's about 2 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall. About.
I think we start Reshi's art here.
Yeah. Rush's art sounds good. What are you thinking about with the balls that you have, and what do you feel like you're gonna play now?
Okay, it looks like our opponent is playing Baby Blacephalon. Huh.
Oh, and it looks like Kiawe is gone from what Cold Soul says.
Yep. So it does rotate.
That is unfortunate.
Alright, so we are playing against Baby Blacephalon here.
You know what'd be cool? Mewtwo, Mega Mewtwo Y, Mega Mewtwo X tag team, and one of them can be shiny.
Let's see. So I think we just Ultra Ball here for a Lele, grab a Welder, and just start
You could
attacking.
Kiawe.
Yeah, but since we're going second, I still feel like this is fine. I'd rather just take the knockout. And
Oh, you would be able to get the knockout, wouldn't you?
So, let's.
Or could you? Yeah, because you can switch with the and do it with the Blacephalon.
Let's make sure. Ooh, Lele's prize. That's not good.
Feels bad.
Oh, and our opponent just skips it
Okay.
up.
Well,
Okay.
you win. That's Charizard Reshiram for you. I mean, like, there's, it's, this is just, it's ridiculous that they've. It's not really ridiculous. Let's be honest about this. I mean, Charizard is their like flagship Pokemon. Like, they've literally made a top tier 1 deck with Charizard in it, just to showboat their favorite Pokemon. It sounds like what I would do.
I think we're playing against Guardy.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if yeah, we need Mega Charizard X and Y tag team. Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it?
I think we just start with the Miltank here. Because we can... Yeah, I think starting with Miltank is fine. We'll toss down 1 and pat and let it go from there. I'm interested to see what our opponent's playing.
You're not gonna play the Hyper Rare, bro?
Nah, you flex on him later.
No, you just always flexing.
Okay. Because they can't Fairy Song this turn, but they can Kaleidostorm next turn.
What does Fairy Storm do again?
So Fairy Song, search for 2 Fairy Energy, attach them to your bench Pokemon any way that you like.
Okay, so energy acceleration.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with fairies, they have a really, really powerful resistance in the meta right now, just with all the charms that they hold.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see already how this deck is going to run, and it's a deck that I was actually considering running myself. And it's a deck that runs it runs Gardevoir, Sylveon Tag Team. It runs like 3 to 4 of them. I think maybe 3 would be the most.
We need a Mega Charizard and Mega
Yeah.
Charizard tag.
I read that out just a second ago. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, like that's what the possibilities they're opening up to now that they've introduced a Mega into the tag teams. But this is the deck I was thinking of building myself with Mischievous in this, because what they're gonna do with this deck is that they're gonna go ahead and get that Mischievous out as soon as they can. They're going to play it, and then from then on out, they're going to be using Lieutenant Sturges, Green's Research, getting whatever it is they need, and they're going to use that Kaleidoscope attack that does like 130, 150, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever that Pokemon they feel like is threatened...
Does this have to be active?
No. They're only doing it to get rid of a card from their hand.
Gotcha.
They're just burning through stuff at this point. But, what this deck kind of revolves around is that whenever the Gardevoir Sylveon's looking, beat up, what they're going to do with it is that they're going to heal whatever they can off of it, and then they're going to use the attack to transfer the energy away, and they can choose to either let it die if they need to, or they can just rip a max potion the next turn, because you see it's got full health right now. And if they're able to get the energy on there that they need, which they could do with on their next turn, they could do with Amina and just attach. And since they have access to Lieutenant Surge, they'll have the energy they need, and they'll be able to transfer it to their bench, take the hit from Charizard unless we can knock it out in one hit, and then they're just gonna use either a max potion or a Acerola to get it back to full health.
Now, what do we do here? We could Lele, go get Welder, but we only got 1 fire energy in hand. Kiawing this turn isn't a bad idea. Now, we do know that they have Surge in hand, so we could actually go get a Marshadow.
I feel like you could Ultra Ball here for the Dedenne.
Yeah, it's an option. So let's go ahead and let's pitch. It really doesn't matter.
It really doesn't, because from here on, I would go ahead and pitch all that, get the Dedenne, and then just go ahead and play the other Reshazard to the bench, and Ultra Ball for another Pokemon that you want to play. So
we wouldn't have enough unless we discarded the fire energy.
We are, because we're going to play Dedenne anyway.
Well, I mean, you could also attach for turn.
We could, but let's see what we get first, because we don't even have any in the discard pile for now. So go ahead and Ultra Ball the Guzma and Fire Energy, and let's
I think Turtonator's fine. The Marshadow could also be good, because if they play the Labyrinth.
Yes, go ahead and grab the Marshadow just as an option. Bob the Uncle. And you see, look, here we go. We're already winning now. We're already winning. So now we can go ahead and play the Fire Flint, because we still haven't. What have we played yet? We haven't played Supporter for turn, right?
Nope.
We can play the Fire Flint. Go get Welder with Ultra Ball.
That's true.
And now that you got 3 in the discard pile, your Fire Crystals are active, because you can just pitch Fire Energies.
Well, no, because we're going to have to pitch them off the Ultra Ball anyway.
But you're going to have 4 in hand from the, that's what I was getting at.
Either
or.
I'd rather have a lot of these in hand anyway.
No, I totally get it. Makes more sense.
Let's also make sure the Welder's in here.
How many more Fire Crystals do you have?
Fire Crystals.
3 out of all 3.
Yep.
Cool beans. That was a dope rip that we got off the Dedenne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a fire charm is definitely in our future. Pajama Samus. Now, should you attach to the bench?
Nope. And we reached. See, because this is exactly why. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're already double blazing, but now like we've got enough next turn that we can just take a knockout on that one.
So you are going to go ahead and double blaze. Okay. Well, what I see them doing is more than likely using a Lieutenant Surge and then Ace rolling. And then, now what they could do is they could go ahead and,
See, but now they have an option to make.
Yeah,
they have to make a really hard choice here.
It's really not that hard. They could play the Max Potion, play the single energy for turn, Lieutenant Surge, use Mina to attach to the bench, and then they can play the Fairy Song to get 2 more from deck.
Either way, we're taking a knockout next turn.
Oh, for sure. I feel like you should have more than likely left the choice band in hand, though.
Probably so, but I just didn't want to leave an option open for it to
Let loose.
Exactly.
Because it's something we were talking about earlier. We feel like less people are playing Field Blur these days, and usually it's just a one-off. So if you play your tools right, you're more than likely only going to get your opponent's more than likely only going to get rid of one tool.
So they're probably going to grab Choice Helmet here. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, so they decided to use the Ace Rolla. This might just be because they don't play Mina. Do we have Field Blur on this build? I think we do.
I think we have one.
Yeah, we have the one. Okay, so they got the Anthem ready. Now you see, this is what I was trying to get across of with this deck. It's all about just like surviving. They're not gonna try to do anything else other than live. So for your play here,
I think I honestly just outrage. There's no point in flare striking.
you wouldn't do any. You would only you would do 60 damage. You would do 30 damage.
Well, hold on. How much does it prevent?
30.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, it does set us up.
So
for
go
flare
ahead and
strike on the next
attach to.
I think we just leave it. They don't play any energy denial.
True. Yeah, just outrage. Milk Tank's really going to come in handy because we can use it.
Well, because we can also switch into it as well.
Right. That's what I was trying to get into. But this deck kind of it's all about it's all just about denying prizes, and you see how they've already built up energy onto this Sylveon Gardevoir tag team. They just, and the best part is that they get the helmet back. You get everything back, and they're gonna Kaleidostorm Storm now, and they're probably gonna keep the energy on it and wait until next turn to get the energy off. Oh no, they're gonna go ahead and move one. Okay, that's okay. They're moving all. Okay, so they're preparing for something. Oh, this is actually really, really good.
Yep. So what we can do, because we'll switch into the Miltank, heal, bring up or Guzma this one up.
Yes, and then we can go ahead and get a straight up knockout on that. That's great. And now we've gotten rid of their energy, so they're really, really, really going to be hurt by this. This is really optimal, and this is This is kind of why I was questioning why they would want to put any on the bench. I would, if anything, have only moved one. But hey, that's the game in the bag for us right here, I think. Because I don't even think they have another Sylveon.
Nope. Not yet. Now this is good. We can
Yeah.
utilize the Viridian Forest, pop the Marshadow, and take it away.
We can
Now, they
actually
do
use
have
it
the
too to get
Diantha.
energy into hand. Because we can play our own Viridian after we use that Viridian next turn. And the cool thing is that we can Acerola our Charizard if we want to, just to prevent them from dealing more damage to us.
I honestly think what we do here is our opponent's going to attack into us now. Can they kill us with Fairy Song next turn? Or, I mean, Kaleidostorm. I don't think so. So I think what we do here is we actually just play Kiawe. We go ahead, we get another Fire Energy, we discard the Nest Ball, we Kiawe, we put the energy there.
Let's do this. Go ahead and use Viridian Force, pitch a Nest Ball.
Yeah.
Now play your Viridian Force.
Nah, but I want to deny them that extra energy. Because
Well,
here's the
you
thing,
still-
we're going to
you-
get the
you-
rest of the energy off that Kiawe anyway.
Oh, because you only got 4 in deck. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, what the cool thing is, you can deny them energy right now by just playing the Marshadow.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to go ahead and pop it anyway.
Okay. Now, do you want to use a Nest Ball for anything on this Kiawe? We could build up a baby. We could build up the Turtonator, and the Turtonator could get a one-shot on that.
That is true.
Because if we're going to go ahead and Kiawe this turn, we can go ahead and Kiawe onto the Turt
But then they target down the Turt.
if they have the Guzma. Which, go ahead and check their discard. And they have access to Counter and Diantha, but their hand is only at 2 right now. I would go ahead and do it. I mean, risk it for the biscuit. I mean, there's really not much they can knock out next turn anyway, so... Ah, you forgot to attach return.
That's fine.
True, I guess. Now, the only problem by using the Turtonator is that it's going to get rid of all of her energy.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
would
we'll
be for
get the
game
win,
anyway.
Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. You see, this is what I was talking about earlier. The Turtonator Bucephalon combo, having both of those in this deck is just phenomenal because, like, depending on the situation, if you got a lot of energy on board, great, Bucephalon. Oh wait, no, Turtonator. I got a lot of energy in hand. Here you go, Bucephalon. Have at it. It's kind of got me fired up because I feel like you could actually... No, you know what? I feel like this is probably the most optimal deck you could run with the Turtonator Baby Bucephalon just because you have the outright tremendous amount of damage output with the Charizard Reshiram. So, like, there's a lot of risk with the Charizard Reshiram just because, you know, it's a 3-prizer, but, like, the energy acceleration, the draw power in this deck is just great. I hope I'm hyping this up for all y'all.
Because we should have exactly the amount of energy that we need.
Correct.
Because we don't even need to Acerola. Because if we Acerola, we're shooting ourselves in the foot. We need to manually retreat. Because otherwise we won't have enough energy. Because we need to discard exactly 6.
Right. You see, this is the reason why I said you should have attached last turn.
True, but we still have it anyway.
Yeah. Now, unless...
Because here's the thing, we're getting in just 10 damage over, because that's going to block 30. We're going to be
that
doing
only
exactly...
blocks EXs and GXs. Check it.
Yeah, true. But I mean, still, we just have the game here.
Yeah. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Goodbye.
That is great. That's great because now me and you both know that there is an out to this deck with the baby Turtonator, and that just kind of goes to show you that Charizard Reshiram can play around pretty much most of the meta decks that's going to be out in the upcoming months. I strongly do think that we need Energy Switch in this.
Well,
What do you think?
let's take a look at the list. I mean, because what would you cut for the Energy Switch?
Has the Rescue Stretcher been of any use?
I think Rescue Stretcher is fine. I would cut the Lieutenant Surge.
I agree.
Because most of the time, we're not going to be behind on prizes. I do like the one of Cynthia in here, just because if you have a bunk hand, you can always lay for it and go get something better.
Yeah.
Acerola's cute.
I like it just because it gives you the option to pick up a Charizard, bring out the baby Bucephalon that you've already got pumped up, and now you've got at least 3 to 4 energy in hand.
That's true.
So like that's where I see the Acerola coming into play really strongly. The Red Challenge I think we could also cut, to be completely honest.
That's fair. So we could cut the Red's Challenge and the Lieutenant Surge's strategy and put it into Energy Switch.
Yeah.
I think
Sounds
that's
good.
okay. So let's go ahead and go back into editor. Nope. Stop that. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
What does Energy Porter do?
Energy Port? Or you mean Eno Porter?
Yeah.
Where did you see it?
To the left. I mean to the right.
Eno. Ran a Porter.
You just leave it like that. Yeah.
Remove a special energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one. There's not too much right now that's playing special energy.
True.
No, it would be hilarious, though, if your opponent's playing Charge Bug with the ability, and then you play Anaporter and
Yeah.
with the Charge Bug. That would be funny.
I mean, what does it turn into once it's attached to another Pokemon?
It becomes, it says it provides 2 lightning energy, but it's a special energy.
Right, but like only when it's attached to a Vikavolt, right?
So the second you play it off of its ability, it becomes a special energy.
So it's no longer got the ability where it can't be played on anything else. So you could technically use an energy switch on it, couldn't you?
Energy Switch, I believe, is only basic energy.
The only thing I was getting
Yeah.
at is the fact that you can move energy to your opponent's Pokemon that you're about to knock out, but I don't feel like that's got too much viability to it.
Okay, so 2 energy switch.
I like where we come along with this deck list. It's looking really solid.
Alright, so let's get in one more. Alright. TTV, thanks for the follow, my friend. Alright. Let's get one more good game with it.
I still can't believe they gave Charizard Reshiram 270 HP. That's the same as Snorlax and Eevee.
Now, there was a list from the Japanese J-League that was playing a copy of Eevee Snorlax in Reshizard.
I mean, it makes sense. Colorless energy, that's all you need.
Alright, is that our opponent's going first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So...
You got a pretty decent hand here. They're playing Fiery. We could play the Heat Factory.
I believe they're playing Blacephalon,
More than likely.
so
You have to pick.
I think starting Turtonator is
You could choose a Marshadow just so you get a free retreat, a free switch. Oh wait, no, it has to be on the bench. My bad.
Yeah, I'm
Turtonator.
just gonna put a Turtonator here. I think that's the safest option. I'll put down the
do that.
Marshadow and then I'll
Just
just
threaten them.
Yep. Because I do not want to drop the Charizard just yet. I honestly don't even really want to play it at all.
This is great because now we have access to the Marshallow's attack against Ultra Beast.
That is true. Now, granted, it's only going to be doing 70 damage, but it's an option.
With our given hand, our best option may just be to do that.
I honestly think what we should do is
Wait,
play.
let's see what we get with the Heat Factory.
Yeah, I would play down Heat Factory, give the energy to the Heat Factory, and then depending, because if we can get a turn 1 Welder, I'd rather do that.
Oh no, definitely.
But if it comes down to it, we can always Guzma up the other Blacephalon, bring up the Marshadow, and just attach an energy and attack.
I mean, if anything, you could look at it like this: if you use the Marshadow to attack it, it would be only 1 energy discard off of the Turtonator.
Alright, so our opponent's got the energy spinner.
Do you think that has any utility in this deck?
In this deck, maybe. I think there are better options for it right now. I think as long as Fiery Flint's in the format, Fiery Flint's better. Because again, also it has to be on your first turn for it to really be useful. Okay, so that's actually really good. So let's... As much as I don't want to give them Heat Factory, we can.
We can take it away as well.
Yep, so let's go ahead, activate it, see what we get. Alright, so we didn't get a Welder.
I feel like Kiawe onto Reshazard would be a good bet.
So what we could play down the Reshazard, because they have to discard a lot.
And if we leave the Heat Factory up, they could burn an energy on the Heat Factory that they need.
Yeah, but the problem is it just gives them access to more cards. I would rather just pop the Marshadow.
Go for it.
Or just Guzma up the other one and just hit them with the Marshadow.
I feel like going for the Kiawe this turn would be really good. Because you can still attach an energy to a Turtonator. Or you could go ahead and attach it to the Marshadow in case you feel like they're going to knock out the Turtonator next turn. For the switch. So we only got 1 more Fiery Flint left in the deck to be able to utilize fully.
I don't think I would have given this an option if we didn't have Acerola in hand.
Yeah.
Just being able to pick up the Charizard is going to be really good. And if we ever get into another Welder, it gives us options there as well.
That's the reason why I like Acerola in this deck, because Charizard's got such massive HP. It can survive a lot of hits, and let's be honest, 270 is a really hard number to hit, even with Charizard Reshiram. If you're not using the GX tech, of course.
Alright, so opponent has roughly 1,000,000 cards in hand. Now, ideally, what I would really like to do is I would like to get a hold of an Ultra Ball.
Let loose.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so they're getting the Welder off. They're more likely going to attach to the bench with what they have in hand, more than likely. If they... Oh, we forgot to get rid of the Heat Factory.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Because it gives us options to draw cards as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, it's just kind of like one of those weird matches where, if you're playing Viridian Forest and your opponent's playing Zapdos, where it's just well, so be it, I guess.
Do you foresee anybody in the format playing a random fire energy or two in their deck just so they can maybe get something off of a Heat Factory?
Nah, I think that's way too situational. Wow, our opponent's just gonna... Huh. Interesting.
They must not have any fire energy in hand.
Well, we do have the Ultra Ball. No, they have a ton of fire energy in hand, remember? Because they played,
Yeah, they have to.
They played the Fiery Flint.
But I mean, theoretically, they've only got 4 on the field, and Fiery Flint gets 4 to the hand.
So here's what I think we do.
I bet you they only got 2 fire energy.
I would. What I want to do is I want to Guzma up this. We can Ultra Ball these. Go get Marshadow. Let loose. Draw with the Heat Factory. I really like that.
You could Acerola this thing up.
No. I like this better. Well, actually, you're right. That is an option because we could Acerola the Turtonator.
And then just knock that out straight. Don't Guzma. Don't Guzma.
No.
Acerola.
There we go. Okay.
Because now you can still let loose.
Yep.
So go ahead and, throw that back down.
I would
Don't use Heat Factory. Go ahead and attach energy to that.
Yeah, I like that. I like this a lot. That was a good idea. Okay. Goodbye.
It's like, thanks for letting me have this hand. I really appreciate it.
And then we can also pop it to get rid of the Heat Factory.
We totally can right now, and like that would really, really hurt them.
I'm gonna go ahead and draw more cards.
Right.
That's fine. We have access to Fire Rate Flint next
Go ahead
turn.
and pop that. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. They don't need it. You don't need it.
Goodbye.
And hey, now they can play theirs.
I'm gonna leave Miltank in the hand for now.
Ultra Ball. Go ahead and Ultra Ball for something. Fiery Flint. Go ahead and Fiery Flint for something.
Yeah, but they could do the same thing.
What?
That we did.
Marshadow?
Well, actually, no, they're not playing Marshadow because the way it was shown.
Yeah.
So we could
go ahead
do
and play
Choice
Fire Flint.
Band. But what do we get rid of?
You can get rid of a Welder.
I really like keeping the Welder in the hand. We know we can get Miltank back.
We can.
So now we're set up for next turn. Okay, so there's only 3 fire energy left in the deck.
Well, now there's none. That means you got a good bit of prize.
Okay, so 7, 10. No, that's it. That's all of our fire energies.
Oh, wow. Okay, so now we're relying
Well,
on...
I'm sorry. No, that's 4, 7, 10. Yeah, so there's 3 in there. Okay. I think Ultra Ball is fine for right now. Let's not waste it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, let's go ahead. I think just Flare Striking here
Nuke 'em.
is fine.
Now they need Welder and 2 energy in hand, and then a whole bunch of other energy.
Yeah, they need a lot.
Yeah, they're not gonna. They're not doing too good.
Nope.
Oh God, am I gonna get the Porky Pig nickname?
Hmm.
Am I gonna get the Porky Pig nickname?
What makes you say that?
I can't imagine. Oh wow, the energy switch is great right here. Because now you can use it, and if you wanted to, you could Welder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, I kind of outspoke. I don't think that would really be a good play.
But
it
that
is
energy
an
switch,
option.
yeah, the energy switch gives us options.
Go ahead and grab your wish for baton, bro. Too bad you didn't have it last turn. I'm sorry, but like I really have to like give it hard to somebody whose avatar on PTCGO looks like Misty.
Yeah.
Like you're just asking for it. There's no point in keeping that Kiawe. I feel like you should have Ultra Ball first.
I mean, it's fine. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, now we can just Ultra Ball both the Kiawes.
Fair enough.
Never punished.
I mean, that's what it's like to be good, right?
I mean,
I feel like going for a Dene would be good.
I think it's too much at this point, because how many cards do we have left in deck? Hold on.
You get 23. You could just go for another rush, because you do have, well, no.
Let's go grab
the
a Lele.
Go for the Lele for next turn, just so you can get a Guzma if you want to use it.
It gives us options.
You attacked with Charizard this turn already,
Or,
haven't you?
I attacked to the last turn, so all I can do now is Double Blaze or Outrage.
I would go ahead and retreat with them manually, because you still have 3 Fiery, 3. I mean, not 3.
Or
3
Fire Crystals. Yeah, the problem is we're going to have to discard all 3 energies for Turtonator to do that. I think double blazing here is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, because you'd have to, because we're discarding 3 to retreat.
No, you're right. The play that I suggested would be more towards in game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the new Mewtwo has any use in this?
Mewtwo puts it on top of the deck.
We have Heat Factory. We got Welder. It's really just a setup for the next turn. Because if you've already got 1 Welder in the discard pile and you've played 1 from hand and you got 1 in hand.
See, here's the thing. I feel like Mewtwo is a card that you would play to finish the game.
Yeah, it would have more versatility if we played the Jirachi.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think Charizard Reshiram needs Jirachi because, like, you're trying to build a deck that Jirachi is so well paired with Zapdos because Zapdos only needs the 1 energy.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, with a deck like this, using Jirachi, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's you got a lot to deal with for your bench to begin with this deck, and having like a Jirachi or 2 out is just gonna have even more bench space clogged up. Okay, yeah. Oh man.
Too much to deal with. 8 wins in a row.
Looks like it's working pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
You want to take a quick break?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
So,
Hi, Gabby71.
what's going on?
Be prepared for many mispronunciations of names, intentional or not.
So, we're probably going to take a quick break in just a minute. Let's see.
The Jirachi is also more likely to hit an energy. Yeah, that's
also
a
correct.
very good point. Yeah.
But, so I did get a bunch of packs from my top 4 yesterday. So, I figured, you know what? Let's go ahead and open a couple of packs today. See
Can
if
we
we
do
get
that
anything
after we
cool.
get back from the break?
I mean, you can go take a break now if you want to. I just wanted to open a couple just for giggles.
Oh no, I'll wait for you, man.
All right. Since the Gabby just came in, I feel kind of bad if you pop in and we're leaving. Oh yeah, I also got some team up packs too.
Oh heck yeah.
Let's see if we get lucky with team up, since nobody's really gonna want them anymore. There's still so many good cards.
I mean, like, Pokemon is just really giving it out right now. Like,
Moltres. Ugh.
now, do you think it would be viable for us to be playing another Ace Aurora in this?
I think 2 is asking too much.
You're
I just
not
now
wrong.
noticed this. Magikarp's attack has the coolest Enter the Dragon.
Well, you know what the lore is for koi fish, right? In
Yeah.
Japan?
Them jumping up the...
Waterfall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Ooh, double rare pack. Another Kabutops. That's not bad.
I have such high hopes for that, but like I've never been able to build anything that seems to function.
I played one deck online. Ooh, reverse Hitmonchan. One deck online that ran in Alolan Muck. That's not bad.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier.
But there was one deck that I ran into online that was playing the Kabutops, and they absolutely just wrecked my face. Was not prepared for it at all. Oh, that was the Arcanine I was talking about earlier. So
Yeah, I see why you'd like this.
Grand Flame, like, if it was 130 damage besides 120, I feel like it would be a lot better because it misses on Baby Buzzwole, which really stinks because Baby Buzzwole came out in Forbidden Light. So Baby Buzzwole's sticking around. It's gonna be a card. This one-shots Hoopa, but that's really... It one-shots Hoopa, it one-shots...
Zapdos.
It one-shots Zapdos. It one-shots Alolan Ninetales, the regular version of it, not the GX. But I feel like that there's a lot more... Like, this card would be played if it was 130 damage instead of 120. Being able to attach 2 Fire Energy cards from your discard pile to the bench is also ridiculously powerful. So again, it's just more ways that you can power up your Pokemon really quickly. So to give you an example, let's say that you've done your thing, turn 1, your opponent goes, and then you go, okay, cool, I'm gonna evolve into Arcanine, I'm gonna Welder to it, and then I've got some more energies that I discarded earlier off of an Ultra Ball. You're still gonna be able to attach those 2 energies. Plus, it kind of fits our scheme of it interacts really well with Turtonator because it's just attaching more energy to the field.
Yeah.
Now, the only downside to this right now is Tapu Koko GX. Any Pikarom player seeing this is going to be like jumping up and down in their seat. Oh boy, please Grand Flame. Please put more energy on the field because I want to one-shot that Charizard.
Yeah, Tapu Koko right now is just so huge for all the electric decks out because it's the one out to being able to just one-shot really anything as long as they got enough energy out.
And the other thing that really bothers me is stage 1, so you do have to evolve into it. But it's a cool card. I want to try it. I'm not convinced yet that it's great. I think after rotation happens, I think Arcanine's going to get a lot better. Ooh, we finally got a Giovanni's Exile.
Oh, that's nice, because I kind of wanted to throw one in.
Golem.
Steamroller isn't affected by resistance.
And this attack does 20 less damage.
That's all around just kind of like bland for a stage 2.
This is poopy. But we did get another Pokegear, so that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I think I was at 3 so I think we just now have a play set. Alright. Snorlax! So, I think this card is interesting. So, big counter, if your opponent's active as attack team, this attack does 120 more damage. So this thing swings for 180 for 3 energies.
It has some potential in this deck, I feel.
And it heals 10 damage between turns.
I don't know if that's going to have much help any.
But here's the thing. It's a big basic. It's 150 HP. That's pretty darn good. Now, big counter, I mean, you're doing 180 to a tag team. If you put a choice band on it,
210.
it does 210. So, it's interesting. It doesn't one-shot things, though, which is really the only thing that concerns me about playing it, because you do have to commit 3 energy to it. You can't use the energy that goes away at the end of the turn, the triple energy, because this isn't an evolution Pokemon. Otherwise, I would slam this in there with 2 of those evolution, or 2 of the evolution energy, or the triple energy, and just a go. I'm interested to see how good this card is going to be. I don't think it's anything right now, but later, I think this might, make some waves. We'll see. And
it could definitely be great in a spread deck, because a spread deck would be able to utilize the new triple boost energy.
Zilla is bad. I love this Slowbro. I want to make a bad deck around Slowbro
And
just
you're
because of
on-
3 strengths.
The only thing that you're hoping to do is to actually lose with that deck.
Yep.
that's what you want to happen, and unfortunately, that's not how the game is supposed to be played. But like, what would be great is if we both built 2 Snorlax decks, and like our objective was to die.
Oh, the Slowbro, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, we get Sublime.
Stunfisk! Alright, so I was at the Cup yesterday, and one of my good buddies is super excited about Stunfisk.
This looks great for like Zapdos against the spread decks.
But here's the thing, what spread decks are going to be in the format after rotation besides Weezing?
Weezing's pretty good though, bro.
Weezing's a good deck. I'm not sure if it's... I would say Weezing's probably a tier 2, tier 2.5 deck.
Yeah.
It really depends, just because so many decks are running these big, beefy attackers. Big Basics is a thing again. Electric Trap is interesting.
Now, the only issue is Tapu Koko with Flying Flip, is that rotating as well?
It is. It is sadly rotating. My boy is gonna be gone. I love me some Coco.
One of the last free retreaters that we have in the meta.
Oof, these last couple packs have been poopy. Come on, give me something cool. Give me something spicy.
Hyper Rare Charizard.
Hey, it's my boy. He's completely unusable, but he's my boy.
And I'm telling you, I called this GX whenever tag teams first were introduced. I was like, Marshadow, Marchand, and the only reason why is because there's already a GX of both of them.
I love my boy Machamp. He's so pure. I love him.
I love how they got the 100 blows impact, and like Machamp is supposed to be the one that can like throw so many punches a second, but like it's the Marshadow the one that's doing it.
Well, so Marshadow, it's a signature move,
Right.
and Machamp. One of my favorite things about Machamp is, again, like, Machamp's supposed to, again, be able to punch ridiculously fast, but I actually play him in Pokken. He's my main in Pokken, and one of my combo moves that I go into is his 1,000-arm punch attack, and it made me so happy when I saw this. I'm just like, yes, this is beautiful. All right, got a couple more packs left to go. I just want to see what we get. Ooh, Whimsicott.
Another hit.
Let's see. I think a lot of people are really hyped for Whimsicott. I don't think it's that great right now.
I can agree with you on that.
Like, it's cute. The effects are cute.
Now, this is something that I've thrown out there to a lot of other people. I want to see what you feel like. Whimsicott GX with the Tapu Lele that has the ability with the charms. It was a promo, and so it was a promo for the pre-release.
Mm-hmm.
So like the ability is whenever you attach like a fairy charm to it, the opponent's Pokemon is confused. So you play that on your turn. You attach the fairy charm to it, and then they're confused, and they have to go through fluffy cotton.
It's an idea.
I mean, like I feel like it would give those decks more of the stall that they need, because they could either play the Meganium that allows you to move the charms.
So something that would be at that point you could just play Magearna that has change clothes.
Yeah, the Meganium. That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about something different.
Oh, I probably said a different Pokemon, but I meant Meganium.
But the other thing you could do is you could also play something like Koga's Trap. So it's like, cool, you're now confused and you're poisoned.
You could run Koga's Trap in it with it as well, just in case you can't like play the Tapu Lele.
So something that would be interesting is there a card in Standard right now, like, because I know we just got a lot of poison stuff. Is there something that prevents retreating if you're poisoned? Because that could be interesting. Because it's like, cool, you're confused, you're poisoned, you can't retreat, and even if you do try to attack, you have to get through the confusion, and you have to get through the fluffy cotton. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. I mean, like,
let's see, you can run that with Magearna to confuse every turn. Yeah.
Oh wait, why would you want to run Stunfisk? The Stunfisk is yeah, Dust Island.
Yeah, probably.
But the Stunfisk is would be there just to get easy knockouts with whatever damage you have on board if you're going up against a spread deck. And like
Hey!
Oh, nice.
Alright, so this is actually the second Hyper Honchkrow that I've gotten. I got one in the last time I was playing, and we got another Arcanine. So, Honchkrow is also stupidly interesting as well. I feel like we haven't gotten the Team Rockets card yet, right?
the Jesse and James one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so Honchkrow GX with Unfair GX and the new Team Rocket card where they have to discard 2 cards out of their hand?
2 cards out of your hand, and your opponent discards 2 out of their hand.
So I think the stupidest version of this that you could create is you basically have a Honchkrow already down and ready. You let loose them. You find a way to go ahead and play the Team Rocket card to get them to discard 2 energy. Then you Unfair GX. So they have a hand of nothing.
That's a pretty
Go.
crazy first turn. Or a second turn going first.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, unfortunately with the meta, if they draw an Ultra Ball, a Mysterious Treasure, or just a straight up draw supporter, You're not gonna. It's not gonna really. You see, that's just one of the things I hate about like discard decks where you're trying to get the.
It's Fate Tant. We have to play it. We have to.
I mean, why not?
I'll build a Stun Fizz deck. We'll see how good it does.
I mean, we could play a Stunfist deck that used like the Weezings, and then what we could do is that we could play Potown.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Play that.
Okay. Sophocles.
I was so hyped for Sophocles.
I thought it was an interesting card.
I was like, this is gonna replace Sycamore, guys.
You know what? We got a couple coins. Let's go get a couple more packs. Open those up. Okay, we got enough for one. One more pack, and then we're gonna go ahead and take a break. Give me something good.
Charizard Retro, maybe?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Our luck with the hypers today.
I mean, just get good.
I mean, I don't think Celesteela is going to see a ton of play.
Because it's a normal and it's
So-
weak to electric.
Now, here's something that I thought was interesting. I mean, in the games it's steel type, but here they made it colorless.
Because it's flying type, it's still flying.
Oh, okay. Whoosh. I mean, Honchkrow is definitely something I've been wanting to play around with.
I mean,
But again,
Duststone.
that's it.
Stone.
Duststone is so good, but I feel like the situation that I just described is extremely situational. Like, you have to get the nuts to be able to pull that off. I mean, you have to be able to get the Marshadow, to make sure that you have the DCE on the Honchkrow, you get the Honchkrow set up.
And that's all in the first turn.
Yeah. So, while it's crazy, I think it'd be really hard to put it into practice. Wow, I still have not gotten a single power plant yet. That's surprising.
That's also a very good card right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be prevalent in a lot of decks, I feel, just because, like, going first and playing a power plant and your opponent can't Dedenne or Lele,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, with the deck that you were talking about earlier,
Yeah, it shuts
Play-
that down.
playing that with the Honchkrow would be really good. Now, the only question is, would you be able to play, like, a Sneaky Hood onto the Honchkrow to prevent it from being affected by the stadium?
What does Secret Hood do?
I believe it does something that prevents the abilities of your opponent's effects onto that Pokemon.
All right, well, let's look into it real quick. Hold on.
But it may just be like attacks or effects from their Pokemon, not from everything. I just know Sneaky Hood does something.
Dude, I should have a Sneaky Hood. Here, we'll do it this way. Make it easy.
Just put Show Not on.
Oh, filters are on. That's why.
Click Show Not on. Not owned.
Yeah. If I can spell today.
Just put in Hood.
It's messing with me. Excuse
Can
me?
we break it? It's broke. Why'd you break it?
We'll figure this out.
Go to Show Own.
There we go. Stealthy Hood.
Stealthy Hood.
Okay, so prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. Remove any such existing effects.
So
no,
stadiums don't. Stadiums aren't like
No.
they're kind of like neutral in the field, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that would.
Well, plus it
absolutely-
says your opponent's abilities.
Right. Well, if your opponent played it,
It doesn't matter. It's not an ability.
that's the ability of the stadium.
It's not an ability, though.
I want to argue this, but I don't.
Trust me,
I don't want to bother to argue with this because I already know Logan's going to be. He's going to get to the point where I am doing it literally just to try to screw with him, and it's going to get to the point where Logan's going to get really mad at me because me and Logan, we've known each other for a little while, but he doesn't know me enough, and like I feel like I could fake it enough just to be to where I sound like I'm dumb enough to actually believe everything I'm saying.
But no, that was an interesting idea. All right.
Well, the thing I like about Stealthy Hood is that it's going to be great for Zapdos decks with Jirachi, and even for Pika Thunder, because now it makes it to where their Zeraora can have its ability even with a Lowland Muck in play.
That's true.
And it also makes it to where Jirachi still has its ability while it's in play.
Yeah, but then it doesn't have free retreat.
Switch.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
in my Zapdos deck, I run 3 switch. No wait, yeah, 3 switch and 3 escape ropes. It's an idea, and in like you could theoretically, if you're going to play the Stealthy Hoods, you could just not play the escape boards and play more switches and escape ropes.
Mhm.
But like this is definitely an option for players that are worried about Alolan Muck.
huh.
The brain in Logan's head's running really hard right now.
I'm trying to think if an interaction works, but I don't think it does because it says the effect of an opponent's ability, but
It also includes Guzma.
well, because the reason I was thinking is would this work against baby Ninetales, but it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's a Pokemon ability?
So it says prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities. Ninetales' ability isn't an effect; it's a static ability. Because
It just goes off whenever it's played.
yes, it's just literally like it's here.
Right.
It's not affecting anything. But if I try to attack it, it says no.
Okay.
Now, if somebody's ability was saying, do like poison that, Stealthy Hood says no.
You could attach a Stealthy Hood to this and still be able to attack and... Wait, no, that's the same thing as the Hoopa from Shining Legends. Okay, no, never mind.
That's what I was trying to say.
Would this stop... would you be able to attack into the Whimsicott GX with that? It says prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. No, done to this Pokemon.
I had to think about what Whimsicott's ability did.
It only does it. It only does it for the Pokemon after it's been attacked.
Exactly.
Break.
Stealthy Hood's good, not quite that good.
It's like there. It's like almost there. It's like they're like we're gonna make this, but we're not gonna make it like it should. Like like everybody would like it to be.
Well, because then it would be busted.
Well, of course, that's the reason why they didn't do it.
But all right,
We
guys.
will go ahead and make it.
So we're gonna take a little bit of a break. We'll be back in a little bit. So
Adios.
all right. So I will see you guys shortly.